Chapter 45. Completed the mission to save the beginner trial field. Reward: 30,000 experience, 500 skill points. Wang Lan originally wanted to sleep a little longer, but the reminder in his mind woke Wang Lan up. After waking up, the negative effects of using the phoenix form flooded Wang Lan's mind like a tsunami. In an instant, Wang Lan only wanted someone to give him a quick death. Wang Lan finally realized that the effects of the phoenix form were directly proportional to the time it was used. The first time it was used for 5 seconds, and it would recover after 2 hours. The second time it was used for 30 seconds, and it would be 3 hours without meaning to live. And this time, it was used for 3 minutes, and he had already been unconscious for 5 hours. But now, other than wanting to die, he didn't have any other thoughts. After an unknown amount of time, as if he had endured torture after torture in hell, Wang Lan finally didn't feel that uncomfortable anymore. Resisting the splitting headache, he opened the system to check. First was the character page. Good Lord, Starlight 3. Completing this mission actually allowed Wang Lan to evolve from Starlight 1 to Starlight 3. His HP and blue bars had been greatly increased, and his basic stats had undergone an earth-shattering change. His strength exceeded the 20-point mark, his agility, defense, and other stats all broke through 15. What did this mean? Normal people's physical fitness limit was 10, most people's physical fitness was 6, and after years of training, they would only reach 7 or 8. To be able to reach 10 points in physical fitness, that was 1 in 10,000 existence since ancient times. And Wang Lan, at this moment, his physical fitness exceeded the 1 in 10,000 existence from ancient times to the present by more than 1.5 times. He had truly surpassed the limits of humans, reaching a level that wasn't human. In other words, if he were to participate in a normal human sports event, unless it was a skill-based one, he would be able to easily get first place. The increase in physical attributes was just a side effect. What really made Wang Lan happy was the increase in star power. Starlight 3, Wang Lan had completely bid farewell to being a weakling, and had become the backbone of the Takashi Hoshi world. But the problem was, he had only awakened as a Takashi Hoshi half a month ago. Thinking like this, Wang Lan was a bit carried away. His skill points were all used up by the Phoenix form, and the mission reward was a mere 500 skill points. Was it a loss? If he didn't use skill points, how could he complete the quest? How could he level up if he didn't complete the mission? Skill points were money, money was a bastard, and being so good-looking. He could earn more if he ran out. To Wang Lan, as long as he could level up, it was worth it no matter how many skill points he spent. 500 skill points was not a small amount. After he got out of here, he could go to the Takashi Hoshi Guild Hall and buy a few Takashi Hoshi skill books. His combat power would increase instantly. It was common knowledge that the Heavenly Body tier was not suitable for learning Takashi Hoshi. The Heavenly Body tier's astral power was limited. Even the lowest level Takashi Hoshi could only be used a few times, so it was meaningless. Besides, Wang Lan was not short of money. Why would he buy a low-level Takashi Hoshi? If he wanted to learn, he had to learn something awesome, and the minimum requirement to learn Takashi Hoshi was star-blazing. Therefore, leveling up was the foundation for Wang Lan to become stronger. Don't pretend to be asleep since you're awake. An unfamiliar voice sounded in his ear. It was so close that it was as if the person was sitting beside his bed. However, Wang Lan had been awake for so long, but he did not feel anything at all. Instantly, Wang Lan opened his eyes and looked to the side nervously. It was a middle-aged man who looked to be in his 40s. However, he was very handsome. His face was masculine and handsome, and the stubble on his cheeks made him look especially sexy. This kind of old man was very lethal to young girls, but to a male creature like Wang Lan, he was completely immune to the miss. Wang Lan looked at the man's face and saw his epaulet. Damn, Colonel! A very high-ranking officer. The Jade State's military officers were divided into 3 classes and 12 levels. Although the rank of colonel was considered middle, the higher the rank, the fewer there were. In the ordinary army, a colonel would be a brigade or deputy division officer. Takashi Hoshi's military rank would be 1 level higher. So, the man in front of him should be a regiment officer? My name is Hijinza. I'm the commander of the Takashi Hoshi Special Forces Zhenwu Regiment in the Southeast Military Region. As expected, I have a question now. How did you learn the Phoenix form? Hijinza held a pen in his hand and opened a small notebook in front of him. He looked at Wang Lan expectantly as he prepared to take note. This question was like a bomb that exploded in Wang Lan's mind. He wasn't asking where she learned it, nor was he asking how she learned it. He was asking how she learned it. Wang Lan couldn't figure out what the other party meant. You don't have to feel burdened. Your Phoenix form was obtained openly. No one will have any objections. Also, you don't have to worry. No one will dare to have any thoughts about your Phoenix form. These words were a promise to Wang Lan. No one would dare to. It was not that no one wanted to. Even if someone had any thoughts about it, they would not have the guts to do so. These words made Wang Lan a little curious about Di Lao's faction or the power behind his mother that Wu Changfeng had mentioned earlier. As far as I know, you learned the Phoenix form not long after you awakened Takashi Hoshi's innate talent, right? The conditions for learning the Phoenix form are very harsh. Even your mother only managed to learn it by chance when she was in the Nebula realm. She was already considered a miracle, but I didn't expect you to be even more miraculous than her. Simply. Hijinza wanted to use the word abnormal to describe him, but he felt that this word was not very good. In the end, he did not say it and just stared straight at Wang Lan. Colonel He, your mother and I were classmates. We used to have a good relationship, so you can call me Uncle He. I'm not an outsider. You don't have to be so formal. Uncle He? What happened to my mother? Is she dead or missing? Don't ask me about this. I don't know. Even if I knew, I wouldn't say it. All right. My mother left me a soul pearl and placed it in Auntie's hands. After I awakened Takashi Hoshi, she gave it to me. The Phoenix form was engraved in the soul pearl, and I learned it. Hijinza's eyes instantly widened like a bull's. Engraving Takashi Hoshi's innate talent in the soul pearl was not difficult to understand. This was considered a black technology in the eyes of ordinary people, but it was nothing to Hijinza, who had a lot of confidential information. There was a subject called spiritual engraving in universities. It taught how to engrave Takashi Hoshi's innate talent or some memory images into the soul pearl. However, you learned it? What kind of explanation was this? Was this an explanation? I asked you how you learned it. How the F***ck did you learn it? It was like when someone asked you for the method to solve a math problem. Did you just tell them the answer and send them away? How did you learn it? Hijinza felt that his heart could not hold it in anymore. I don't know. I absorbed the soul pearl, and the method to cultivate the Phoenix form was engraved in my mind. I followed the method and experimented and learned it just like that. It felt not too difficult. Not too difficult. Not too difficult. Too difficult. Difficult. Pa, the fountain pen broke, and the crisp sound was pleasant to the ear. Hijinza's expression did not reveal his mood. Even the smile on his face was like a gentle breeze. However, the fountain pen in his hand broke, and the ink spilled onto Wang Lan's snow-white bedsheet. Sorry, the quality of the fountain pen is not very good. Hijinza, who had regained his senses, said awkwardly. The corner of Wang Lan's mouth twitched slightly. All right, you have a good rest. This time, you helped the 3rd Battalion to destroy the demon's conspiracy. The regimental headquarters will give you a reward. You are still a student, and your military achievements will be recorded in the files. I heard that your studies are good? So. Wang Lan said modestly. He Jinza's hand was itching. Looking at Wang Lan's innocent expression and cute appearance, he did not know why he wanted to slap him. SOSO? Only the best in the city. He thought of his little rascal. Forget it, I'll just go home and beat my son. Uncle he. Seeing that he Jinza was about to stand up and leave, Wang Lan hurriedly called out. I think I've rested enough for the night. When can I leave? You can leave now. Then I'll leave now. I came here with my companions. They must be worried because they wanted to help the Takashi Hoshi army. No problem. Wait a moment, I'll give you the proof. Not long after he Jinza left, Wu Changfeng walked into the room with a smile on his face. Wang Lan, how did you do it? What do you mean, how did I do it? Wang Lan was dumbfounded. To be able to make our regiment commander so angry, I haven't seen anyone do it in all these years. You're amazing. Did I make him angry? You must be mistaken. Our conversation just now was very relaxed and pleasant. I will tell him everything I know about his problem. All right, I heard that you're leaving? Isn't it done? Since it's done, I should leave. Otherwise, my friends will be worried. Well, there's nothing else here. This is for you. You can take it with you, Wu Changfeng said as he placed a backpack in front of Wang Lan. Wang Lan opened it, and there was a layer of soul beads inside. There aren't many soul beads, only 100. But this was gathered by our brothers. It's a token of our appreciation. How embarrassing is this? Are you going to decline? Then it would be impolite for me to decline. Thank you, Brother Wu. And thank you, brother soldiers. Wang Lan couldn't wait to interrupt Wu Changfeng. You really haven't changed your nature. What will happen to the Southeast military region in the future? Let's talk about the future in the future. I'll think about it when I graduate. There's no point in thinking about it now. That's true. Outside the trial grounds, it was slightly desolate. Because the trial grounds were closed, there wouldn't be any Takashi Hoshi coming. The shops at the entrance of the trial grounds were also closed one after another. The outside of the trial grounds used to be as busy as a marketplace. But now there were only 3 cars parked quietly at the entrance. Jiang Xinyu was wearing a sexy t-shirt and hot pants. She was wearing a gray sun hat. Under the hot sun, she hugged her arms and quietly looked at the closed entrance of the trial grounds. A cool breeze blew past, and Jiang Xinyu's long hair fluttered around her ears. Su Xianwen and Gong Feiyu were sitting under the shade of a tree. They held a grilled chicken wing in their hands and sprinkled some cumin on it. Xinyu, the chicken wings are ready. Do you want to eat some? No need. Jiang Xinyu replied coldly. Don't worry too much. I've investigated. The Takashi Hoshi army stationed inside is from the Zhenwu group. That's the Southeast Military Region's Fang unit. Also, Wang Lan is a Takashi Hoshi medic. He'll be fine if he stays at the rear. I know. Jiang Xinyu's words were still straightforward and emotionless. Where's Jia Jia? How is she? She played with Feiyu for a while. She fell asleep in the hammock. I'm chasing away the mosquitoes for her. Oh, rumble. Suddenly, the door that had been closed for 2 days vibrated. Jiang Xinyu's eyes lit up. Su Xianwen also put down the chicken wing in his hand and stood up. The metal door slowly opened. The door opened? Song Jia, who was sleeping, was awakened by the vibration and quickly jumped out of the hammock. The door slowly opened a crack. The dark white space-time light of the trial grounds leaked out from the crack. Jiang Xinyu and the other 3 opened their eyes wide and looked over. A slender figure appeared in the crack of the door and walked out step by step. The person carried a backpack and held a sword in one hand. After walking out of the metal door, he smiled brightly at Jiang Xinyu and the others. You're all here? Waiting for me? Chapter 46. Seeing that Wang Lan came out unscathed, the ice on Jiang Xinyu's face instantly melted, and a gentle smile slowly bloomed on her face. Brother, Song Jia ran over cheering and bumped into Wang Lan's arms. Brother! Mom is very worried about you, Sister Xinyu is also very worried about you, and Sister Xinshan and Brother Feiyu, Brother Xiangwen, Song Jia said anxiously with a red face. Jia, are you worried about me? Wang Lan rubbed Song Jia's head and smiled. Yes, most importantly, I'm also very worried about you. I knew you'd be fine. He punched Wang Lan's chest. You brat, trying to be a hero. That's right. You're making it seem like you're the only one who's not afraid of death and we're the deserters. You should have told us earlier, we would have stayed with you no matter what. Boom! The metal door was completely opened. Behind Wang Lan, there were dozens of Takashi Hoshi's soldiers led by Takashi Hoshi. Brother Ren, I'm leaving. You guys can go back. I'll treat you guys to a meal when I'm free. Salute! Suddenly, Takashi Hoshi shouted, and the 50 soldiers behind him stood at attention and saluted Wang Lan solemnly. This scene caused Jiang Xinyu and the others' spirits to ripple. Their blood instantly rushed to their heads. In a daze, she saw the dazzling light on Wang Lan's body. Wang Lan was slightly taken aback. She hurriedly turned around and stood at attention towards the Star Warriors, returning a standard military salute. Song Jia quickly called Wang Qi. Just as he got into Su Xiangwen's car, Song Jia put his phone in front of Wang Lan's face. Hello, Auntie. I'm fine. I'm not hurt, I'm fine. Okay. Brothers Xinyu, let's go to Xiangding Bay. Okay. Got it. The car roared as it rushed out of the trial area's gate towards the highway not far away. Little Aunt hurried home and saw that Wang Lan was unharmed. Only then did she feel completely relieved. He took Jiang Xinyu and the others to a restaurant outside Xiangding Bay to celebrate. They didn't leave until late at night. That night, Wang Lan didn't stay at his aunt's house. Instead, he went straight home to Xinyu Building. His heart was finally at ease. Being a Takashi Hoshi for half a month was really exciting. Standing on the balcony, Fu looked at the lights of the entire city. Su City was truly prosperous. Jade State was one of the 3 largest economies in Sky Blue Planet, and its economic strength was one of the best. Su City was one of the wealthiest prefecture-level cities in Jade State. It was filled with tall buildings and viaducts. Once night fell, it would be brightly lit. But under this prosperity, how many dangers were lurking in the darkness? 70 years of peace had made the new generation forget the cruelty of war and the bitter experience that had lasted for more than a century. But as a Takashi Hoshi, he couldn't forget it. From the adventure on the ring road to the experience in the primary trial field, it seemed like a small-scale event, but behind it was a far-reaching event that could change the world. Demons had once again bared their fangs at humans. The demons were moving in the dark. Wang Lan was born in the best era because this era was highly prosperous and human civilization was developing rapidly. At the end of last year, Jade State proudly announced to the world that they had successfully eliminated all the poor people. They had houses to live in, food to eat when they were hungry, and clothes to wear when they were cold. However, this was also the worst era. Just as the demons bared their fangs, the dark clouds of war suddenly shrouded the heads of this era. Less than 100 years of peace was about to end. After so many days of tension and excitement, Wang Lan was dispirited at home for 3 days. Eat? Takeout? Exercise? No way. Takashi Hoshi skills? I'll think about it in 2 days. Beep, the phone suddenly rang. Wang Lan lazily picked it up and glanced at it. Unknown number? Another sales call. He hung up. Just as he put down the phone, it rang again. It was still the same unknown number. Nowadays, salesmen were very dedicated. For the sake of performance, they would sometimes persevere until they got through. Wang Lan picked up the phone. Hello. I'm Wang Qianfeng, Director of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's Sioux City Intelligence Department, a military intelligence agency directly under the Ministry of National Defense. Hello, Chief Wang Chu. I'm Nick Fury, Director of the National Strategic Defense Attack and Logistics Security Bureau. What's the matter? The other party was silent for 3 seconds. I'm real. Well, I'm not fake either. Beep beep beep, Wang Lan smiled and threw the phone aside. He looked at the gradually setting sun and stood up to close the curtains. Ding dong, Wang Lan, you have a guest. Xiao AI, I didn't order takeout. Who is it? I don't know. He's pressing the doorbell. Do you want to change the screen? Let's change it. The screen in front of him suddenly changed, and then it showed the entrance to Wang Lan's private elevator in Sinew Building. A middle-aged man in a black military uniform was pressing the elevator door. Wang Lan's eyes instantly became serious, and he stared at the man's epaulette. Lieutenant Colonel. Xiao AI, help me check his identity. Checking. I'm sorry, there's no information about this person on the internet. However, I found the style of this person's military uniform. Does it match? Yes. The Heavenly Sword Bureau's uniform is divided into 4 grades: green, white, red, and black. This person's uniform and the Heavenly Sword Bureau's uniform have a 90% match. Heavenly Sword Bureau? Wang Lan thought to himself. He had dealt with the Heavenly Sword Bureau before, and this was the first time he was in danger. If the Heavenly Sword Bureau hadn't arrived in time, there would have been nothing left of him. The image of Tsing Xiaoma appeared in his mind, and what left a deep impression on him was her pair of long and slender legs. Hello, may I ask who you are? Wang Lan's voice came from the elevator door. I just called you, just a minute ago. I can introduce myself. I'm the head of the Sioux City branch of the Heavenly Sword Bureau, Wang Qianfeng, a military intelligence department directly under the Ministry of National Defense. As he spoke, he took out his ID from his pocket. This is my military ID NID. Xiao AI, is this real? Authenticity is 92%. It can be determined as real. Open the elevator. The elevator door opened and Wang Qianfeng stepped in. Just as he was about to press the button, he realized that there was no button. The elevator door closed and they went straight to the top floor. Wang Qianfeng glanced at Wang Lan's house, which was close to 500 square meters. Looks like you're living a good life. You live alone in such a big house? Yes. Actually, I don't like living in big houses. If I want, I can renovate the top floor into a home style. If it's too big, it'll feel like a haunted house. That's why I partitioned it into about 500 square meters. I still prefer living in a small room like this. Wang Qianfeng's mouth twitched and his heart ached slightly. What would you like to drink? Tea, coffee? Give me a glass of water. Xiao AI, a glass of water and a cup of coffee. Okay. After a while, a robot came from an unknown corner and brought the coffee and water to the side of the coffee table. Head Wang Chu, please take a seat. Do you know why I'm looking for you? Wang Lan shook his head obediently. I don't know. On the 2nd of July, you single-handedly thwarted the demon's conspiracy and saved 25 children and 7 adults. On behalf of the government and the Heavenly Sword Bureau, I award you the Medal of Valor and the Certificate of Good Citizen. As he said this, he took out a brocade box from his bag and placed it in front of Wang Lan. Wang Lan suspiciously took the brocade box and opened it. There was a medal and a certificate inside. In an instant, Wang Lan's expression changed. Ding! The medal's interface has been unlocked. First honorary achievement. Reward, 1,000 skill points. In the system, a brand new page popped up, and a glittering medal appeared in the first pane of the page. This medal was exactly the same as the Medal of Valor in front of him. Damn, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? No, this is. Wang Lan picked up the bank card on the certificate and asked. Of course, the reward isn't just spiritual rewards. There should be material rewards as well. There's 5 million in the card. Although it may not be much to you, you deserve it. Thank you. This is only the first reward. 3 days ago, you assisted the garrison of Tinglin Elementary Training Field and successfully defended it, thwarting the demon's conspiracy. What do you want as a reward? This. Wang Lan looked at Wang Qianfeng with twinkling eyes. How about giving me another medal? Cough, cough, cough. Wang Qianfeng put down his cup and hurriedly took out a handkerchief to cover his mouth. Student Wang Lan, medals aren't given out casually. You assisted the military, so even if you want a medal, it can only be given out by the military. Aren't you part of the military? Wang Lan asked as he looked at his shoulder. Although I'm part of the military, I'm part of the Heavenly Sword Bureau, which is a parallel department to the military. How about this? I'll reward you with a set of Takashi Hoshi techniques. Wang Lan's heart skipped a beat. He almost blurted out the word good, but he immediately suppressed it. Takashi Hoshi techniques differed greatly. Some Takashi Hoshi techniques could be bought for 100 to 200,000, while some Takashi Hoshi techniques couldn't be bought for less than 5 million. With such a huge contribution, don't even think about using ordinary Takashi Hoshi techniques to brush me off. Seeing Wang Lan's hesitation, Wang Qianfeng smiled faintly. You don't have to worry. The Takashi Hoshi technique I'm rewarding you with is definitely not something you can find on the street. Furthermore, you definitely can't buy it at the Takashi Hoshi Hall. This set of Takashi Hoshi techniques is a B-rank Takashi Hoshi technique called Nebula Sword Dance. It's a technique that only Nebula Takashi Hoshi can truly master. Of course, only Nebula can truly master it. Star blazing can also be learned. That, if this set of Takashi Hoshi techniques were to be put up for sale at the Takashi Hoshi Hall, how much would it cost? Wang Qianfeng looked at Wang Lan mockingly. Little rascal, don't even think about it if it's less than 8 million. All right. Just as he finished speaking, Wang Qianfeng suddenly reached out and tapped Wang Lan's forehead with 2 fingers. Relax your mind and don't resist. A powerful spiritual force invaded Wang Lan's mind. The Nebula Sword Dance Takashi Hoshi techniques cultivation method, tips, and experience flooded into Wang Lan's mind. Discovered that you can learn the Takashi Hoshi technique. Do you want to learn it? Wang Lan didn't dare to hesitate and quickly confirmed. Please add skill points. F***CK. So evil. After tapping 100 skill points, the Nebula Sword Dance skill icon on the Takashi Hoshi active skill icon lit up. Nebula Sword Dance, Silver Level 1, 0 out of 100. It's actually a silver Takashi Hoshi technique? No wonder it requires 100 skill points. Chapter 47. The Nebula Sword Dance uses the power of the stars in conjunction with the moves of the martial arts. The moves are unpredictable, and the movements are agile and graceful. It can also create illusions that confuse the enemy and kill them when they least expect it. Wang Lan quietly read the introduction of the Takashi Hoshi technique in the system. Wang Qianfeng looked at Wang Lan with a smile, thinking that he was comprehending the secrets of the Nebula Sword Dance. Wang Lan, you have plenty of time to slowly learn the Takashi Hoshi technique. I have other things to tell you. Wang Lan exited the system, and his eyes became clear again. Wang Qianfeng took out a form from his briefcase and placed it in front of Wang Lan. This is the Heavenly Sword Bureau's application form? Captain Wang Chu, I'm still a student. Don't reject it yet. Let me introduce the Heavenly Sword Bureau to you. Perhaps you've heard of the Heavenly Sword Bureau. In folklore, the Heavenly Sword Bureau is very mysterious, like a secret service organization. The folklore is a little exaggerated, but it's not too far off. The Heavenly Sword Bureau is under the Ministry of National Defense. It's classified as military intelligence, but it's also independent of the Military Intelligence Bureau. The Heavenly Sword Bureau is distributed in every prefecture-level city. Its main responsibility is to maintain regional security, defense, and stability. Just like what you said on the phone, strategic defense, offensive, and logistical support. Breaking it down, it's dealing with Takashi Hoshi's criminal cases, dealing with criminals that threaten the safety and stability of society, investigating demons, spies and foreign spies, dealing with emergencies, and so on. I'm still a student. Although Wang Qianfeng's words made the Heavenly Sword Bureau's identity seem very mysterious and had a lot of power, Wang Lan still didn't want to fall for it so easily. In short, I'm still a student. You don't have to hire child labor, right? Student? Indeed. Wang Qianfeng nodded. You're still a student, only 16 years old. But at the same time, you're also a Takashi Hoshi, the guardian of human civilization, aren't you? That's true, but there are so many Takashi Hoshi students in the country. Why choose me? Because you're good enough, Wang Qianfeng said seriously, which made Wang Lan feel ashamed. Outstanding enough? If you have such poor eyesight, don't go out to fool people, okay? No matter how narcissistic Wang Lan was, he still had a bottom line. It had only been 15 days since he awakened, and he was a star-blazing Takashi Hoshi. If he were to be ranked by the number of days he had awakened, Wang Lan would definitely stand out. But compared to his peers, there were at least 200 people who were better than him in Sioux City. You're not looking for a true genius like Jiang Xinyu, but you're looking for me? You may be blind, but I'm not stupid. Do you think I'm flattering you? Yes, your strength is indeed not outstanding, but you've only awakened half a day ago. However, you've only awakened for half a month. If you were to compare your growth speed and potential, not to mention the entire Sioux City, even the entire Jade Nation wouldn't be able to compete with you. However, what I truly value is not your speed of growth or your talent. What I value is your awareness. A Takashi Hoshi, even if he reaches nebula and galaxy state before the age of 20, if he doesn't have the awareness of being a Takashi Hoshi and doesn't look at himself from the perspective of human civilization, he's just a baby in my eyes. I'm not pretending to be great, and I'm not the Virgin Mary you young people talk about. Self-interest is human nature. If a person is so great that he doesn't care about his own interests and loves the common people, I'll think that this person must have great ambition. A person's awareness is in the choice of understanding. When it comes to national righteousness, one will make the right choice. This is awareness. If we can't retreat and human civilization is in danger, if no one stands up, who will protect human civilization? But why me? There are so many outstanding students in Sioux City. Moreover, isn't there the army, the wasteland reclaimers, and you? This is the issue of awareness I was talking about. Wang Qianfeng chuckled. It's human nature not to take the initiative to change. If everyone thinks like you, then the result will be the problem I just mentioned. When the demons invade and the butcher's knife hangs over human civilization's head, who will protect humanity? Doesn't that mean I don't have the awareness you're talking about? No. You do. Awareness doesn't come from words, but from actions. In the alternate dimension opened by the demons, there were 25 children crying in fear behind you, and there were fierce demons in front of you. At that time, you were only a beginner Takashi Hoshi of the heavenly body tier who had awakened for 3 days. In terms of strength, let alone killing 9 biochemical soldiers, 1 was enough to kill you. If you didn't have the awareness to protect humanity, you wouldn't have been able to kill 9 biochemical soldiers and wait until our rescue arrived. In my opinion, that battle was a miracle. Later on, in the elementary trial field, guarding the trial field was the job of the Takashi Hoshi garrison. Even if you were a medical Takashi Hoshi, and even if you had a powerful Takashi Hoshi skill like the Phoenix form, no one would say anything about you as long as you decided to retreat. That was war, and people would die. Once the Takashi Hoshi army failed, there would be no possibility of you coming out alive. You would be crushed in the space-time vortex along with the elementary trial field. However, you still stayed resolutely and believed that our Takashi Hoshi army would definitely win. Damn it! That's not what Wu Changfeng said to me. Wang Lan had a serious expression on his face, but he was roaring in his heart. You already have the awareness to be a human warrior, and that's what I value the most. Actually, in the trial field, Commander Hijinza invited me to join the Takashi Hoshi Army of the Southeast Military Region, old he? To hell with him. If we really wait for him to join the Takashi Hoshi Army, it'll be too late. Wang Qianfeng, who had been maintaining a low and oppressive aura, broke down on the spot the moment Wang Lan said this. Ahem. Wang Qianfeng looked at Wang Lan's confused expression and coughed softly before continuing to calm down. Little rascal, you probably didn't agree to him, right? Moreover, I know Hijinza well, and he's not good at recruiting people. In other words, you're especially good at it? Back to the topic. I have a reason to choose you, and you also have the right to reject me. Although you should be at the age of naivety and romance, I don't know why, but I don't see any traces of naivety in you. Therefore, I know that you won't easily agree to him and me, and similarly, you won't rashly reject him either. Since you were very young, you gave me the impression that you were a little adult. You have a mind that far exceeds that of your peers, which is why your IQ isn't outstanding, but you can produce such a perfect report card. Wang Lan carefully glanced at Wang Qianfeng. What do you mean? Are you doubting my IQ? My IQ is at least 200. Don't let your imagination run wild. When you were 3 years old, your mother realized that you were extraordinarily intelligent, so she specially gave you an authoritative intelligence test. Your IQ is much higher than that of ordinary people, and you're a genius. However, compared to those outstanding high IQ geniuses, there's still some gap. For example, your good friend Jiang Xinyu, her memory, learning ability, and comprehension should be above yours. However, she only used 70% of her IQ, and you used 100%. You wouldn't waste your experience on boring things, so you became the god of studying in Sioux City. Okay. Since you've already said this, give me a reason to join. Wang Lan leaned against the sofa and said with a helpless expression. War. Is that enough? Wang Qianfeng leaned forward slightly, his eyes looking straight into Wang Lan's eyes as he asked in a low voice. Through the incident of the ring road and the primary trial field, you should have speculated. Demons are active around us, and the purpose of their activities is self-evident. It's for war. Demons aren't barbarians, they're also a highly civilized race. They won't be unprepared and launch an invasion at the slightest disagreement. Every time the demons launch a large-scale invasion, history will only record the date and time when they launched the war. However, before that, the demons have already infiltrated the human world to gather information, corrode our internal structure, and make countless preparations for the invasion of the demon army. This preparation work can be very long, 3 years, 5 years, or even 10 years. I don't know if you've watched a TV series recently called Takashi Hoshi Special Forces? No, I don't watch dramas. There's a plot in it. An instructor asked a soldier, in your mind, what is the Takashi Hoshi Special Forces? The soldier said, the Takashi Hoshi Special Forces are the first to set foot on the battlefield and the last to leave the battlefield. They carry out the most dangerous missions and experience the most brutal battles. But let me tell you, the first to set foot on the battlefield isn't the Takashi Hoshi Special Forces, but our special forces on the intelligence front. We set foot on the battlefield many years before the Takashi Hoshi Special Forces. Similarly, we are the last to leave the battlefield because there are only 2 situations where we will leave the battlefield. Demons are eliminated or human civilization is destroyed. War hasn't arrived in your eyes, but it has already begun in my eyes. In the future, if you choose to join the Takashi Hoshi army, when you go to defend your country, our intelligence front will be defeated and the demons will successfully invade. Our existence is to buy time for the human race to prepare and delay the arrival of a full-scale war. The longer this time, the better. It's best if it lasts forever. You are still a student now, but when the war really begins, all the people in the Jade State will fight regardless of age. What difference will there be between a student and a soldier? Being a student is not a reason to avoid the war. Is this reason enough? Wang Lan's breathing was heavy. He wasn't swayed by Wang Qianfeng's passionate speech and couldn't wait to get on the horse and fight 300 rounds with the demons. Wang Lan analyzed a few key points from Wang Qianfeng's words. The war hasn't started yet, but the demons' spies have already started to act. The Heavenly Sword Bureau was in charge of catching the demons' spies. The real war might not start so soon. It might take 3 years, 5 years, or even 10 years. Combined with his own situation, how could Wang Lan grow to the level of star blazing in 15 days? How could he have a full set of silver skills? It was all because of the 2 thrilling experiences he had. Therefore, in order to become stronger, Wang Lan had to do something. No, he had to experience something. If he couldn't grow before the full-scale war broke out, he would be nothing more than cannon fodder on the battlefield when the war broke out. In order to become stronger quickly, he had to experience something. However, the 2 experiences that Wang Lan experienced would not be so coincidental. Therefore, if things didn't come to him, he had to take the initiative to find them. Joining the Heavenly Sword Bureau seemed to be the best choice. But, I have to drop out of school? Wang Lan asked pitifully. No one can deprive you of your right to go to school, even if you join the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Even if I invite you to join, you will at most be a non-staff member. After all, you are only 16 years old. I told you from the beginning that I invited you because I have my eyes on you. Before you finish your studies, the Heavenly Sword Bureau will not force you to do any task. Chapter 48. Then why didn't you tell me that joining the Heavenly Sword Bureau wouldn't affect my schooling? If you had said it from the very beginning, you wouldn't have needed to waste so much time talking to me. What kind of place do you think the Heavenly Sword Bureau is? Applying for a job at a company? Although the Heavenly Sword Bureau isn't under the control of the military, we are still professional soldiers. You must have heard from He Jinza that the Jinwu group is the best of the best in Takashi Hoshi's army. But the Heavenly Sword Bureau is the real elite that even the Jinwu group wants to join. It should be an honor for you to join the Heavenly Sword Bureau. I'm not begging you to join, and I won't ask you to set any conditions. I, Wang Qianfeng, will never force you. Oh, Wang Qianfeng's aura was like an exploding wolf. In front of Wang Qianfeng's aura, Wang Lan was like a little sheep that had been forced into a corner. Sign it. Wang Qianfeng pushed the application form in front of Wang Lan and shouted. You call this not forcing me? You look like you'll tear me apart if I don't agree. I've already filled out the form. All I'm waiting for is the final signature. I truly feel honored. Wang Qianfeng quickly signed the form. He snatched Wang Lan's form and took out another piece of paper from his bag. This is the registration notice. Go to the Heavenly Sword Bureau at 8:30 tomorrow morning to report. The address is here. Do you have any other questions? No, then I'm leaving. Wang Qianfeng picked up his backpack, stood up, and turned to leave. The moment he turned around, a sly smile bloomed on his face. Director, take care. Director, be careful on the road. He closed the elevator door and the smile on his face disappeared. He excitedly rushed into his bedroom and jumped onto his bed. Ha ha! I'm rich. Wang Qianfeng, who was in the elevator, also laughed like a Shiba Inu. He Dalong, you want to steal my girl? When have you ever snatched it? Even when it's already in your bowl, I still manage to snatch it away. That's why, as a person, why do you care about your face? Wang Lan quietly laid on his bed. Looking at the remaining 1,500 skill points in the system, he felt incomparably satisfied. Previously, because he only had 600 skill points left and he wanted to buy a few powerful Takashi Hoshi skills, he didn't dare to add skill points to his Phoenix form. But now, adding 500 points to the Phoenix form. Yup, although I wish I could uninstall this skill every time I use it, It's really nice when I can use it. What was left was to research the Nebula Sword Dance. Although the Nebula Sword Dance was only at Silver Level 1, it was at the same level as Wang Lan's basic skills. However, its power was definitely not something that an ordinary skill could compare to. This was because this was a Takashi Hoshi technique, the true killing power of a Takashi Hoshi. With 1,000 skill points, Wang Lan could do whatever he wanted. However, he still needed to maximize the benefit. Wang Lan took the elevator down to the cultivation room on the 3rd floor. Turning on the power, the lights instantly lit up. Connecting to the PS armor, the entire cultivation room was like a high-tech company's laboratory, filled with a sense of technology. Wang Lan took a 8-gate Han sword from the weapon rack and tried it out. From the feel of the sword, it seemed to be about the same. He closed his eyes. Because it was his first time using the Nebula Sword Dance, he needed to go through how to use it in his mind. Suddenly, Wang Lan opened her eyes, and the sword in her hand danced. As Wang Lan danced, the long sword was like an unfurled fan, bringing with it a true afterimage of the fan. If it was a normal swing, it would definitely be impossible to create such a scene. As expected of a Takashi Hoshi technique. Not to mention its power, just the light and shadow effects were full of awesomeness. However, the Silver Level 1 Nebula Sword Dance only seemed to be how to bring out afterimages to confuse the enemy. Was this the only ability? Then wouldn't it be too unworthy of a Silver Level ability? Without hesitation, he spent 100 points to upgrade the Nebula Sword Dance to Silver Level 2. In an instant, his understanding of the Nebula Sword Dance soared to another level. He also understood that the afterimages of the Sword Dance were only at the beginner level. How to use these afterimages as a sharp weapon, and how to effectively use the afterimages to hide the killing move, was the true essence. In the blink of an eye, Wang Lan's sword danced. The sword light around Wang Lan's body blossomed into a silver-white sword chi that was like a beautiful stage light. Wang Lan's body was like a peacock dancing in the sword chi. After finishing a round of the Nebula Sword Dance, Wang Lan exclaimed in surprise, "Sui Gui." This time, not only did he effectively make use of the afterimages of the Nebula Sword Dance, he also perfectly hid the killing move in the afterimages. Other than Wang Lan himself, no one else would be able to discover which sword was the real one. Thinking back to the sword technique Jiang Xinyu used, it seemed that his Takashi Hoshi technique could completely defeat Jiang Xinyu's sword technique. However, Jiang Xinyu's sword technique was not Takashi Hoshi's technique, so completely defeating Jiang Xinyu should not be proud. And one must be humble. Wang Lan smiled as he added more points, all the way until he upgraded the Nebula Sword Dance to Silver Level 5 before stopping. The Silver Level 5 Nebula Sword Dance basically meant that he had grasped the usage of the Nebula Sword Dance. The rest was probably just a matter of time. If he upgraded the Nebula Sword Dance to Silver Level 9, then he would have completely grasped the Takashi Hoshi technique. With the remaining 500 skill points, Wang Lan could definitely upgrade the Nebula Sword Dance to the peak. However, for the sake of maximizing his benefits, Wang Lan still held back. There were so many Silver Level 1 basic skills, this was the lower limit of his strength. He could not ignore it. The next morning, Wang Lan changed into a short-sleeved windbreaker and left the house. The Heavenly Sword Bureau was located in the Hudong district. That place was where the administrative and financial centers were concentrated, and the people who went in and out were all high and mighty people. However, no matter what, Wang Lan did not feel that it was flourishing. Not to mention the commercial plaza, even small supermarkets and small stores were rare. Walking down the street, there were all kinds of agriculture headquarters, industry and commerce headquarters, construction headquarters, or some financial consulting center. The Heavenly Sword Bureau was not easy to find. He did not find the address on the map, and when he reached the Wangqiao Road written on the paper, he did not see Wangqiao Road number 1. Wangqiao Road started from number 2, and number 1 of Wangqiao Road was Zhongling Park. After walking around for more than 10 minutes, Wang Lan gritted his teeth and walked through the garden. Finally, he found a group of buildings behind the garden. Damn, wasn't this hiding a little too good? Also, the straight line distance between number 1 and number 2 was more than 1,000 meters, okay? If Tao Yuanming were to transmigrate here, he would be moved to tears. I'm just living in the human realm without any traffic. You're the real hermit. Hello, where is the registration? Are you here to register? Take this elevator up to number 2 meeting room on the 3rd floor. The pretty lady at the front desk smiled gently. Okay, thank you. Wang Lan could not help but take another look at the lady. It wasn't that this young lady was very pretty, but her smile was too professional, wasn't it? And the way she mouthed just now, why did it feel a little strange? The elevator went up to the 3rd floor. Wang Lan carried his bag and walked out of the elevator with a registration form in his hand. Number 2 meeting room. Number 2, stop. Suddenly, a young man in a suit appeared in front of Wang Lan and blocked his way. What are you doing? I'm here to register. Register? You're late, go back. Ah. Wang Lan looked at his watch in surprise. It was 10 past 8. He was not late. You don't need to explain. What kind of place do you think the Heavenly Sword Bureau is? The Heavenly Sword Bureau only needs the most elite Takashi Hoshi. If you can't even be on time, no matter how talented you are, you don't deserve to be called an elite. Looking at your young age, you must be a genius who has always been praised, right? But you're too naive if you think you can join the Heavenly Sword Bureau just because you're a genius. Everyone in the Heavenly Sword Bureau is a genius. Now, turn around and go back. You're out. The young man did not give Wang Lan a chance to explain. He turned around and was about to leave. Wait! Wang Lan smiled as he looked at the back of the man in the suit. Can I say something? You've already said that. The man turned around and said coldly. The registration time is 8:30. It's now 8:30. You scolded me for 2 minutes, but even so, I'm still early. 8:30? Hee, our registration time is 7:30. Your eyesight isn't good. My eyesight is 1.5. It shouldn't be wrong. Wang Lan held the notice in front of the man. The man took a step forward, covering a distance of 3 meters with each step. Wang Lan was shocked. The Heavenly Sword Bureau was indeed full of hidden talents. He had seen Takashi Hoshi use the same footwork in the training field. Takashi Hoshi said that this was the Takashi Hoshi technique from the military, the moonwalk. Although it was just a set of footwork Takashi Hoshi techniques, the requirements to learn it were very high. One had to have a fine control of astral power to learn it. But this man in front of him looked like he was in his 20s. Could he have been in the military? You're not here to register. The man looked at the form in Wang Lan's hand with a hint of disgust in his eyes. You're here to register. The registration is on the 4th floor of the Human Resources Department. Oh, thank you. Wang Lan kept the invitation and walked towards the elevator. Wait a minute, who recruited you? Wang Lan turned around and looked at the man in front of him suspiciously. He said he's the director of the intelligence department, Wang Qianfeng. Okay, got it. Wang Lan entered the elevator and pressed the button for the 4th floor. Along the way, other than the lady at the front desk, this was the only living person he had met. But this person gave Wang Lan a bad feeling. His attitude was cold and his words were harsh. Was the Heavenly Sword Bureau all like this? That couldn't be right. Xingxiama was very cute. Wang Lan smiled bitterly. The elevator door opened. Walking out of the elevator, he finally saw men and women in military uniforms coming and going. He walked past the signs and arrived at the Human Resources Department. Hello, I'm here to register. Come in. Hey handsome, what's your name? Behind the computer, a round-faced lady poked her head out and smiled gently. Her smile was very beautiful, leaving 2 shallow dimples at the corner of her mouth. Wang Lan. Little Missy quickly operated the computer and said, "Yes, there is." Then she picked up the phone and dialed a number. "Hello, Chief Wang Chu. He's here. Take a seat first. Wait here for a while. Someone will come to pick you up soon." The round-faced lady asked Wang Lan to sit on the sofa by the side and poured a glass of water for Wang Lan enthusiastically. It seemed that the one downstairs was really different. Not long after, Wang Qianfeng brought a somewhat roguish young man to the entrance of the Human Resources Department. "Wang Lan, come with me." "Oh, aren't you here to register? Where are you going?" "To assess your Takashi Hoshi level. I'm star-blazing. Can't I just open the Star Palace?" Wang Qianfeng stopped in his tracks and turned to look at Wang Lan. If opening the Star Palace can assess Takashi Hoshi's level, then what's the point of fighting? Two people can just open the Star Palace and the lower-level person can just kill himself. Chapter 49. Wang Lan followed the fatigued youth to the testing grounds. A circle was drawn in the middle of the grounds and the other party stood in the middle of the circle. "My name is Su Shiryun and I am your tester. We will fight in the circle. I will not use Takashi Hoshi to bully you while you can use Takashi Hoshi as you wish. The rules of the test are simple. Either you knock me out of the circle or I knock you out of the circle. You go out and fail the test. I go out and pass the test. Understood?" "Understood. All right then, let's begin." "Wait. Speak. Can we use weapons?" "Sure, what do you want?" "Give me a 40-meter-long broadsword." Pooh! On the second floor of the testing grounds, Wang Qianfeng, who was watching the competition through the monitor, immediately spat out the water he just drank. Ha ha ha! Beside him, the head of the operations department, Li Weixin, who was also wearing a black lieutenant colonel uniform, laughed heartily. "Old Wang, where did you find this kid? Ha ha! What a talent!" Su Shiryun's face immediately darkened. "This circle is only 5 meters in diameter, and you want a 40-meter-long broadsword? Then what's the point of fighting? Tug of war? No! Then can you give me a 10-meter-long spear? If you really can't, a 3-meter-long sword should be fine, right? I will give you one last chance to make your request. Otherwise we will begin. Give me an ordinary 8-sided Han sword that can cut through iron like mud." Su Shiryun silently nodded. 2. Very quickly, a staff member brought 2 8-sided Han swords to the battlefield. Wang Lan pulled out the Han sword and lightly swung it. "Isn't it able to cut through iron like mud? It's just an ordinary high-carbon steel. Don't ask for too much. This is the standard weapon of the Heavenly Sword Bureau. We use this to kill our enemies. Are you ready? If you are, we will begin." "All right. Old Wang, what do you think this kid wants a sword for? His information seems to say that he uses a broadsword. You said yesterday that you imparted the nebula sword dance to him. Could it be that he has already learned it? How is this possible?" Wang Qianfeng switched to another cup of coffee and took a light sip, shaking his head. The nebula sword dance isn't a simple Takashi Hoshi technique. Learning the nebula sword dance requires a very high control of star energy. Furthermore, one must be incomparably proficient in the transformation of star energy. Even if Wang Lan's talent is extraordinary, it will be very difficult for him to grasp the surface of it in a day and a night. At the beginning, Su Shiryun's graceful movement technique stabbed towards Wang Lan. This sword was like a fencing move. He took a step forward and stabbed out as fast as lightning to kill the enemy. Wang Lan's eyes were solemn. His figure flashed and dodged the sword. But in an instant, Su Shiryun's sword technique poured over like a sky full of stars. Su Shiryun's strength was at the middle stage of the nebula stage. From Takashi Hoshi's level, he could crush Wang Lan, so of course he had the confidence to be arrogant. From the sword technique that Su Shiryun displayed, Su Shiryun's basic combat ability was also very outstanding. It was much higher than Jiang Sinyu's. But even if it was higher, Su Shiryun's strength was in nebula. His basic combat ability was also at the silver stage. If Su Shiryun's sword technique was specialized, he would at most be at the peak of the silver stage. Wang Lan's close combat movement, and close combat broadsword were all at the beginning of the silver stage. There was an insurmountable gap between the silver stage and the gold stage, but the gap between the silver stage could still be seen. So although Su Shiryun's attacks were sharp, Wang Lan could barely rely on his nimble dodging and close combat broadsword blocking to block Su Shiryun's continuous attack. What a solid basic skill! Li Weixin's eyes suddenly lit up. He's a Takashi Hoshi in the early stage of star blazing. A kid who awakened his Takashi Hoshi talent less than a month ago actually has such solid basic skills? This basic skill is comparable to some of the professional Takashi Hoshi in the nebula stage. Of course, someone who can catch my eye is certainly not an ordinary person. To be able to hone his basic skills to such a level, even if he hasn't awakened it in these years, his understanding of martial arts is already very advanced. But if he's so strong in close combat, how could he have almost been killed in the alternate dimension that the demons opened up? With his current strength, those biohazard soldiers shouldn't have been able to block one of his attacks, right? Old Li, you've forgotten two things. First, Wang Lan was barehanded in the alternate dimension. He didn't have a weapon in his hand, but he was able to kill 9 biohazard soldiers in a row. It's impossible without a solid martial arts foundation. Another thing is that he's already learned star blazing. Even if he had comprehended it before, he couldn't use it because of the limitations of his body. Now that his body's limitations are gone, he has room to use the martial arts he once comprehended. Look at his dodging and blocking. This requires strength, speed, and reflexes. Without these, he can't do it even if he knows how. But he's using the 8 Gates Han sword as a saber. Does this kid think he can act cool with a sword? In the battle, although Wang Lan successfully blocked Su Shiryun's continuous attacks, he was also in a dangerous situation. More importantly, he was forced to the edge of the circle and would soon be beaten out of it. Suddenly, Wang Lan's body swayed. With his feet as the center of the circle, he tilted his body like a roly-poly toy. With the support of the 8 Gates Han sword, he instantly broke through Su Shiryun's blockade and returned to the center of the circle. Damn, this move is really a stroke of genius. Li Weixin's eyes lit up. This kid actually has such adaptability. If he didn't have such adaptability, he would have died long ago. Yo, are you testing the newcomers? Suddenly, a voice came from the door. Another lieutenant colonel in a black uniform walked into the monitoring room. Lauer, what are you doing here? Nothing much. The Law Enforcement Office received a report that someone took advantage of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's expansion to secretly plant people. They didn't even need to go through the test. So I'm here to verify. Wang Qianfeng's face darkened. You're talking about me? Yes, right? Where's the person you planted? What's his name? Wang Qianfeng pointed coldly at the monitoring room. That's him. Isn't this a test? Who said he didn't need to go through the test? Him. He Mingshue's face changed when he saw Wang Lan. You poached him? Wang Qianfeng's lips curled up. He Delong wants to snatch him from me? Even if he's pulled into the army, I can still poach him. What's more, he's already in my bowl. The testing field seemed to have returned to square one. Su Shiryun raised his sword and looked at Wang Lan with a smirk. That was a beautiful move. However, there's no time limit for this test, so stalling for time is meaningless. Let me remind you, I don't like to use swords. They're too brittle, they're not refreshing at all. As he spoke, he tossed the sword out of the field. Give me an alloy bat. Outside the field, a staff member nimbly tossed a silver-white bat into the field. Boom! There was a muffled sound like the sound of a shot put hitting the ground. Wang Lan's heart skipped a beat when he felt the vibrations coming from beneath his feet. It's solid? Smart. It's made of solid SKD-61 material with a hardness of 65 degrees. With your small body, you'll probably be reincarnated if you get grazed by it. Su Shiryun waved the bat in a relaxed manner. If you know what's good for you, step out of the circle. Otherwise, you'll be beaten very badly. Do you mean what you say? What? You said that you can't use Takashi Hoshi, but I can. You talk a lot of nonsense. As soon as he finished speaking, a gust of wind suddenly exploded beneath Su Shiryun's feet, and his figure instantly charged toward Wang Lan. In that instant, the spiritual energy around Wang Lan's body surged, and the sword in his hand instantly released more than 10 rays of light. The sword's shadow was like a curtain, brilliant and beautiful. The expressions of the 3 people in the monitoring room instantly froze when they saw this scene, especially Wang Qianfeng, whose expression of disbelief was especially fascinating. Old Wang, didn't you say that he wouldn't be able to grasp the nebula sword dance so quickly? Old Wang, you even taught him the nebula sword dance. Wang Qianfeng took a deep breath before coming back to his senses. I just taught him the nebula sword dance yesterday morning. How could he learn it in a day? From what I know, the fastest record for this Takashi Hoshi technique is 3 days. As expected of her child, what a genius! Lauer, don't use the word genius so easily to deny other people's hard work. No matter how talented Wang Lan is, if he wants to grasp the nebula sword dance in a day, he must have practiced non-stop for a moment. Perhaps he practiced for the entire night last night. However, it's a pity that it's impossible to defeat Su Shiryun with a baseball bat just by relying on the shadow sword technique. Su Shiryun's crazy demon bat technique can only have a chance of victory if he grasps the nebula sword dance. Dang dang dang. During the test, Wang Lan's sword was hidden in the sword's shadow that filled the sky. The battle situation instantly changed, and Wang Lan's every move was strong, appearing and disappearing mysteriously. However, Su Shiryun's bat danced like a ball. In Su Shiryun's eyes, all he could see was Wang Lan's sword's light. However, in Wang Lan's eyes, all he could see were the shadows of the bat. The difference was that Wang Lan's sword's light was created by using star power, while Su Shiryun's shadows of the bat were created by dancing at high speed. The whistling of the wind was ear-piercing, and the buzzing of the wind made Wang Lan feel as if he was surrounded by countless bees. No matter which angle Wang Lan attacked from, Su Shiryun could perfectly resolve it. Suddenly, Wang Lan's figure gradually became hazy. Not only did the sword's light flash with shadows, but even Wang Lan's body also began to flash with shadows. Seeing this scene, the 3 people in the monitoring room couldn't keep a straight face. Mingxue looked at Wang Qianfeng sincerely and asked, Old Wang, explain again. How did he cultivate the shadow sword technique? Well, the shadow sword technique is actually the same as the shadow sword technique. To cultivate the shadow sword technique, one needs to evenly distribute star power to every inch of the sword and treat it as a part of the body. At the same time, one needs to have an extremely high ability to change the shape of the star power, creating a sword shadow while hiding the real sword in the shadow. The shadow sword technique is the upgrade of the shadow sword technique. It needs to evenly distribute star power around the body to achieve a perfect balance, and it also needs the body to have the characteristics of the shadow sword, creating an illusion and between reality and illusion. I can't make it up anymore. How is this possible? Wang Qianfeng didn't want to explain anymore. Such a difficult operation requires both physical memory and control to be able to do it. It's not that Wang Lan shouldn't learn it, but it needs time. It's only been 20 hours. A normal person would need at least 10 to 20 hours to comprehend the cultivation method, right? It's impossible to comprehend, try, cultivate, and complete it in such a short period of time. At this moment, Wang Lan's figure suddenly danced, spinning rapidly around Su Shiryun's body like a spinning top. At the same time, Countless swords' light enveloped Su Shiryun like stars in the sky. When this scene appeared, Wang Qianfeng completely gave up resisting. Alright, I admit, he's a genius. A true genius. Chapter 50. Su Shiryun was forced to retreat and was about to leave the circle. Suddenly, Su Shiryun's body exploded with surging astral power, and he forced Wang Lan back with his astral power. Nebula sword dance break. Su Shiryun held onto his baseball bat and looked at Wang Lan, panting. At this moment, Su Shiryun no longer had the arrogant attitude he had before. Instead, he looked more dignified and respectful. Although Wang Lan was only at the early stage of star glory, and he had already reached the middle stage of nebula, being able to reach star blazing at this age meant that his future achievements would not be limited to nebula. Fortunately, Su Shiryun did not know that Wang Lan had been awake for a full 15 days, or else he would have kneeled down. He's cheating like this, aren't you going to do something about it? Wang Lan pointed at Su Shiryun facing the camera. We agreed that he won't use Takashi Hoshi. Not using Takashi Hoshi doesn't mean that he won't use star power. What's the problem? Is there a difference? Wang Lan asked. Have you ever gone to school? Don't you know the difference between star power and Takashi Hoshi? If I don't use star power, do you think my strength and speed can keep up with yours? If I don't use star power at all, I'm just an ordinary person. How can I fight with Takashi Hoshi? Sorry, I really haven't gone to school. Wang Lan raised the eight-faced Han's sword in his hand. Damn, this sword is already full of holes and can't be used anymore. Kid, you do have some skills. Show me what you've got. You've worked so hard, and it'll be a pity if you still fail the exam. Alright, Captain Su, be careful. Wang Lan's eyes suddenly became sharp. He held the eight-faced Han's sword in front of him, and star power surged around him, forming a rotating halo around him. It's fake, right? In the monitoring room, Li Weixin didn't even notice that the coffee in his hand had spilled. He stared straight at Wang Lan's seemingly still but turbulent aura. Is this also a move of the Nebula Sword Dance? Old Wang, why haven't I seen you use it before? This was a high-level technique of the Nebula Sword Dance, right? Are you sure this guy isn't a monster? Why don't we bring it back for research? He Mingxue asked stiffly. That doesn't make sense. I don't even know how to use it. Wang Qianfeng was dumbfounded. He really didn't learn it before. It can't be wrong. He couldn't have learned it from someone else. He only learned it for 1 day. 1 day. Impossible. No matter how high his IQ is. Even I don't know this kind of technique. The Nebula Sword Dance is passed down in my family, so there's no reason that I don't know some techniques, right? Could it be that he developed it himself? That's not right. It's only been a day, this. At this moment, Wang Qianfeng was completely immersed in philosophical thinking about who he was, where he was, and whether this world was real or not. On the screen, Wang Lan's figure instantly turned into countless afterimages. His footsteps were fixed in every corner of the three-dimensional space, and even the void was his platform. Su Shiryun's face was full of seriousness. Suddenly, the metal bat started to dance violently. Not being able to use Takashi Hoshi was a huge disadvantage, especially when facing Wang Lan, who couldn't be judged by common sense with star blazing. At this moment, Su Shiryun only wanted to say one thing in his heart. Motherf ***, is this star blazing? Aren't his fundamentals a little too solid? He didn't seem to have any shortcomings that star blazing should have. His strength level and strength level almost overlap. Fortunately, Su Shiryun also had an advantage, and that was his star power. Star blazing star power was several times that of the heavenly body tier, and the difference between star blazing and nebula stage's star power was like heaven and earth. Even if I can't use Takashi Hoshi to suppress you, I can still use my star power to kill you. When you run out of star power, I'll beat you up when you're down. Suddenly, Wang Lan's body turned into a rapidly spinning drill, and like a gust of demonic wind, He slammed into Su Shiryun. You want to burn your boats? Too naive. Su Shiryun's star power erupted, and the alloy bat suddenly burst with starlight. Boom! This blow exploded, and a gust of wind swept in all directions. The hats of the staff members around the test field instantly flew into the sky. Su Shiryun's body couldn't help but retreat. His feet were firmly planted on the ground, and 2 deep trenches were formed on the ground. Just as he was about to be pushed out of the circle, Wang Lan's star power was used up, and the Gale Wolf Fong turned into a breeze and disappeared. What a pity! Just a little bit more, 1-inch punch. Suddenly, Wang Lan, who had landed from the air, didn't stop at all. The moment his feet touched the ground, he suddenly rushed in front of Su Shiryun. Facing Wang Lan, who had no star power left, Su Shiryun was proud. You don't even have star power, and you still want to beat me with your weak fists? I'll just stand there and not move, wretch. Although Su Shiryun was protected by star power, Wang Lan's 1-inch punch was something that could even destroy a beginner demon weapon. The silver-level 1-inch punch had long surpassed the traditional 1-inch punch. Even Huang Feilong, who taught Wang Lan 1-inch punch, couldn't understand how powerful Wang Lan's 1-inch punch was. With star power alone, it was impossible to stop the 1-inch punch. Therefore, Su Shiryun arrogantly took Wang Lan's punch and bent over like a shrimp. In the monitoring room, Wang Qianfeng was speechless as he slapped his forehead. This is too embarrassing. This is the general of my intelligence department, the captain of the intelligence department, Su Shiryun? He actually made such a stupid, low-level mistake. If he wasn't arrogant, if he didn't take it with his body, even if he didn't dodge, he wouldn't have been beaten so shamefully, right? Lying on the ground, twitching and vomiting bile, how could he still want this guy? Test passed. Defeated someone of a higher level. Reward: 100 experience points, 10 skill points. Completed the test. Reward: 500 experience points, 50 skill points. The broadcast and the system prompt sounded at almost the same time. Wang Lan breathed a sigh of relief. Brother Su, are you okay? Don't call me Brother Su. I'm not weak at all. Call me Big Brother Sure. Ouch. Your punch is an ancient martial art? I didn't expect. I was careless. Whether you're weak or not, is there a need to talk about the current situation? Wang Lan's mouth twitched. He reached out to help Su Shiryun up and put him on a seat to rest. Come with me. Wang Qianfeng had already arrived at the testing area. He didn't even look at the groaning Su Shiryun. Wang Qianfeng brought Wang Lan to the Human Resources Department and received a special mobile phone, a work ID, 2 sets of military uniforms, and 2 sets of plainclothes Zhongshan suit. Wang Lan opened his work ID. Heavenly Sword Bureau's Intelligence Department employee number, Su E asterisk 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 asterisk. Seeing this 7-digit number, Wang Lan's mouth twitched. License plate number? No. Of course it's a bit like a license plate number. The last 5 digits are your Sioux City number. Come with me. He thought that Wang Lan would leave after completing the formalities, but he didn't expect that Wang Lan would be brought to Wang Qianfeng's office. In Wang Qianfeng's office, there was another person elegantly brewing tea. Wang Lan felt that this person's appearance was familiar. Helao Air, you open my cabinet? Old Wang, you have such good tea but you're hiding it. That's not nice. It's a waste for this tea to fall into your hands. Come, try my handiwork. As he spoke, he suddenly smiled at Wang Lan. Wang Lan, don't be shy. Sit. This attitude made Wang Lan even more confused. He was a lieutenant colonel, the same rank as Wang Qianfeng. If Wang Qianfeng was so polite to him because he appreciated his talent, then this person in front of him made Wang Lan feel that he was very special in the eyes of these people. Wang Lan, let me introduce you. This is He Mingxue. He's the brother of He Jinze. He's the head of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's Law Enforcement Department. Hello, sir. Wang Lan immediately saluted. Okay, there are no outsiders. Sit down. He Mingxue smiled faintly. Are you confused? Do you feel that I know you? Yes, a little. I've seen you when you were very young. The reason why Wang Qianfeng and I are in the Heavenly Sword Bureau is because of you. 8 years ago, old Wang and I were your mother's subordinates. Wang Lan's face showed that he knew it. It really was related to his mother. My mother, what's her situation? This is the second time you've asked this question, but I don't mind telling you a second time. We don't know, and we can't tell you even if we know, Wang Qianfeng said faintly. Then can you at least tell me if she's dead or alive? Wang Lan said impatiently. She might still be alive. Might. I can only say that she might be. Okay. Wang Lan gave up. It was impossible to get anything out of these two. Sir, do you have any orders? If not, can I take my leave? There's nothing much. I just want to let you know that after joining the Heavenly Sword Bureau, you have people above you. If you have any difficulties or encounter any trouble, you can tell us. We'll take care of you. By the way, since it's our first meeting, how about I give you a set of Takashi Hoshi? What? Sure, Wang Lan agreed obediently after a brief moment of astonishment. She didn't hold back at all. Hey, you're quite direct. You're a soldier. There's no need to beat around the bush. You're quite used to your identity. But a soldier isn't called a soldier just because he's wearing a military uniform. Military clothes, military skin, military bones, and military spirit are all indispensable. You're of the fire attribute. The Takashi Hoshi skill I'm going to teach you is called Flaming Blade. It's a transformation of the fire attribute. You can release flaming blades through your fingertip. The temperature of the flames can be raised through training. Flaming Blade has 7 different colors of flames. Of course, the power of each is different. This is an A-rank Takashi Hoshi skill. It's quite powerful. Are you satisfied? Satisfied. He Mingxue's figure flashed and appeared in front of Wang Lan. He pointed 2 fingers at Wang Lan's forehead. In an instant, the knowledge of Flaming Blade was imprinted in Wang Lan's mind. After an unknown amount of time, a notification popped up in his mind. Learnable skill discovered. Would you like to spend skill points to learn? Isn't this nonsense? It's as if I can learn it without spending money. After spending a bunch of skill points, he successfully learned the Flaming Blade skill. Have you memorized it? He Mingxue asked with a smile. I've memorized it. Wang Lan nodded. Have you learned it? He Mingxue asked out of curiosity. But in an instant, he laughed to himself. How could he learn it in an instant? It wasn't like elementary school math questions where he could know the answer with a glance. Although the principle of Flaming Blade was simple, it required a thorough understanding of the transformation of the star power. Then, one had to be able to perfectly stabilize this transformation and release it through the meridians of the hand. Without a period of hard training, let alone releasing Flaming Blade, even releasing Flaming Hand would be qi. Wang Lan put his 5 fingers together in front of his body. A ball of flame shot up from Wang Lan's fingertips. However, it wasn't the kind of flame that rose up. Instead, it was a flame that resembled the nozzle of a flame cutter. In front of Wang Lan's fingers, it formed a 1-foot-long triangular red flaming blade. Ka! That was the crisp sound of jaws dropping to the ground. Chapter 51. Wang Lan left, but the expressions of the 2 people in the office were still solemn and deathly silent. Isn't that a bit too much? It is indeed a bit too much. Even Yen Emperor didn't go that far. Why don't we kill him? He's so evil that he doesn't give others a way out. You do it, I'll write a note. Pei, do you want me to die? Then what nonsense are you talking about? But I really didn't expect. Didn't expect what? I didn't expect you to be willing to give him the flaming blade. At this moment I realize that you, He Lauer, aren't that annoying. You already gave him the nebula sword dance. If I don't give him the flaming blade, what will the brothers in other places think of me? You and I were entrusted by Yen Emperor to stay in Sioux City to take care of Wang Lan. You're generous, but I'm stingy? How can I raise my head in front of the brothers in the future? Wait a minute. You tricked me? He Mingxue suddenly realized the problem. He stared straight at Wang Qianfeng and gritted his teeth. I tricked you? Does the law enforcement department always like to accuse people of crimes? You giving him the nebula sword dance is forcing me to give him the flaming blade. Who forced you? You didn't have to give it. Wang Qianfeng snorted and turned back to his desk. He's already gone. What are you still doing here? Drink tea. I'm going to work. You do your work. I'll drink tea. Do you know that this is the office of the head of the intelligence department? As the head of the law enforcement department, you should know that the head of the intelligence department deals with confidential information. Other than the director, no one can come in contact with it. Don't scare me with this. Do you think I'm scared? Although his mouth was tough, his body was very honest. Although the Heavenly Sword Bureau is about to be expanded, the official documents haven't been issued yet. You better take it easy. He Mingxue left after saying that. Suddenly, Wang Qianfeng's face changed. His figure flashed and appeared in front of the cabinet. Looking at the empty cabinet, Wang Qianfeng's face instantly turned dark. A loud roar exploded out of the office. He Lauer, my premium tea leaves, 1 or 200. After leaving the Heavenly Sword Bureau, Wang Lan walked on the streets of the financial center that seemed to be bustling but also seemed to be extremely deep. It was bustling because it was the financial center of Sioux City. All the headquarters of the banks, financial exchanges, and even the largest stock market were located here. But in terms of depth, other than a few street sweepers, there was no one else on the street. Even if it was during the summer holidays. Occasionally, 1 or 2 chain stores could be seen, but the lobby was also crowded. Wang Lan had never been here before. After being curious at first, he gradually lost interest. He turned on his phone and searched for directions. Then, he walked to the nearest bus stop. Suddenly, the signboard of a shop entered Wang Lan's eyes. Dragon Spring Sword Pavilion. Although he had the flaming blade Takashi Hoshi's skill, it was a pity that he couldn't use the nebula sword dance at the same time when he used the flaming blade. And to use the nebula sword dance, how could he do it without a sword in his hand? Actually, Wang Lan also knew that swordsmen's weapons were custom-made. Even if it was not a swordsman or a Takashi Hoshi who used a sword, their swords were all specially made. Only those who weren't in the mainstream or who were only used as backups would use standard equipment. Previously, when they fought, the 8-faced Han sword was beaten to a pulp by the alloy bat. The memory was still fresh in his mind. Should he use this kind of sword on the battlefield in the future? Wang Lan felt that he couldn't afford to lose face like this. Thinking about this, Wang Lan didn't hesitate to walk into the Dragon Spring Sword Pavilion. Hello customer, do you want to see the sword? There was only one lady in the shop. The lady had an ancient hairstyle and was wearing a beautiful ancient costume. Tingting stood up, giving Wang Lan the illusion that he had returned to ancient times. Yes, I have long heard of the Dragon Spring Sword's name and came here out of admiration. Many thanks for the honor, young master. Young master, this way please. The lady in the ancient costume slightly bowed and greeted him. Young master, are you a Takashi Hoshi? Is there a difference? If you aren't, I'll sell you an ornamental sword without a sharp edge. If it is, then it'll be a real killing weapon. This is my Takashi Hoshi certificate. Please take a look. The lady took the Takashi Hoshi certificate and looked at it. Her eyes were filled with gentleness. This was the same all over the world. It didn't matter if beauties loved heroes or if Takashi Hoshi had a high social status. In any case, Takashi Hoshi were sought after by ordinary people. If a lady could gain the favor of a Takashi Hoshi, she would most likely not refuse. In terms of personal fighting ability and earning ability, Takashi Hoshi were far superior to ordinary people. However, Takashi Hoshi could earn money, but they could also eat. To this day, Wang Lan still couldn't understand how Takashi Hoshi were able to blend into ordinary society without causing an imbalance. In any case, Wang Lan's thoughts from his previous life were that Takashi Hoshi were a huge group of people, and women loved to marry Takashi Hoshi. Wouldn't ordinary men die out quickly? However, the truth was that the number of women who married Takashi Hoshi was extremely small. Even if one were to plot against it, the possibility of it happening was low. Young master, do you have any requirements for the length and weight of the sword? Are you used to using your left hand or right hand? I don't have any requirements, right? Why don't you pick a few for me to try? Wang Lan was indeed clueless. The first time he had used a sword was the 8-sided Han sword. Alright, this is the Abyss Condensing Sword forged by the master of our Dragon Spring Sword Pavilion. This sword combines the advantages of a sword and a saber. It can cut and stab, but it's a little heavy. It's strenuous to wield it with one hand, and the hilt is clearly broken when wielding it with two hands. If young master has extraordinary arm strength, you can give it a try. Let me take a look, the girl said as she held the sword with both hands. It seemed that it was indeed strenuous for her. The girl was only about 1.6 meters tall, but she actually swayed unsteadily while holding the sword. Miss, be careful. Wang Lan hurriedly stretched out his hand. Fortunately, he was quick-witted and didn't touch the girl's body. Instead, he grabbed the hilt to share the weight of the sword. Under the girl's somewhat resentful gaze, Wang Lan pulled out the Abyss Condensing Sword. The body of the sword was translucent with beautiful patterns. The sword was also very heavy, about 20 jin. It would indeed be difficult for an ordinary person to wield a sword with one hand. However, it seemed that this girl had never sold a Takashi Hoshi before. A Takashi Hoshi, even a woman, had strength far surpassing that of an ordinary man. Although Wang Lan was thin and weak, his strength had exceeded 20, which was twice the upper limit of an ordinary person's strength. He didn't feel anything with the sword in his hand. Wang Lan tried to swing it. The whistling sound of the wind instantly filled the shop. Wang Lan frowned. Young master, you're not satisfied? The sound of the wind when this sword is swung is too strong. This means that the wind resistance of the sword is very high. Is it not designed with a flow of air? Our Dragon Spring sword is based on traditional craftsmanship. Even if it's based on traditional craftsmanship, it has to keep pace with the times. Not all traditions are good. Although the sword body is beautiful, I want to use it for actual combat. Then, how about this two-handed sword? The girl walked over to a 1-meter-long sword that was inserted into the sword rack. With a clang, she pulled it out. It's so heavy. Help me carry it, Wang Lan immediately quivered. He stared at the girl's doll-like delicate face. You can't carry it at this time? I just saw you pull it out in one breath. Could it be that this is the legendary person who can't open a bottle cap when she's weak, but can open the top of her skull when she's angry? Could it be that a Vajra's body was hidden under this ancient costume? Wang Lan swallowed his saliva and took the two-handed sword. He could accept the weight of less than 25 kilograms, but... You want me to swing the two-handed sword like a windmill with such an elegant nebula sword dance? That's not good, right? Young master, are you not satisfied? It's okay. Dragon Spring Sword Pavilion will customize the weapon according to the customer's request. Please tell me your request. I can arrange for it to be customized. If it's fast, it can be done in half a month. Oh, okay. Wang Lan put the sword back into the scabbard. The sword just needs to be of normal length. It's a one-handed sword that weighs between 20 to 15 kilograms. But it must be sharp and able to withstand heavy blows. It won't bend when cutting hard objects. When swinging it, there must be little air resistance. Boss, do you accept swords here? At this moment, A person as thin as a bamboo pole came into the shop and asked in a loud voice, "I'm sorry, sir. Can you wait for a while? I have to serve this customer first. Our shop accepts swords." "Okay." That person didn't say anything else. He sat quietly by the counter and placed a short sword that was only 2 feet long on the counter. "Young master, can you leave your contact details? We will contact you when it's done." Perhaps the other party was a little surprised by the way the girl addressed him, so he looked at Wang Lan. At this moment, Wang Lan's eyes were fixed on the sword in the other party's hand. "Wait, brother, you want to sell this sword?" "Yes, you like it. Can I take a look?" The other party let go of the sword and Wang Lan took it out of the scabbard. The shape of the sword was very strange. It gave people a feeling that it had been twisted. But this was just an optical illusion. The sword was still straight. The blade was very thick, about 3 centimeters thick. Because of this, the sword seemed especially heavy. The blade and the hilt were made of metal. Wang Lan tried to swing the sword. As he danced, the air flowed rapidly around the blade, producing a sharp whistling sound. But the position of the whistling sound was actually offset from the position of the sword. It was really an indecent sword. If some swordsman practiced using this sword to determine the position of the sword by listening, he would probably die an unjust death. And when he danced, Wang Lan didn't feel any air resistance. This was a sword that was completely suitable for battle and was very insidious. "Does this sword have a name?" "Ghost Weep." "Appropriate. How much is it?" The other party looked at Wang Lan from head to toe. He was wearing very ordinary jeans, a short-sleeved windbreaker, and a white t-shirt. The t-shirt was also very ordinary, as if he bought it from a street stall for 20 or 30 yuan. "Little brother, this sword is passed down from my ancestors. Although it's not an antique, it has a history of 70 years. It has been on the battlefield and killed demons. The price is definitely not cheap. Are you sure you want it? Tell me the price first. If I can accept it, I'll take it. 100,000 yuan. I won't sell it below 100,000 yuan. Okay." Wang Lan didn't even bargain back. "Give me your account number, I'll transfer the money to you now." The little girl in the shop stared at the two people in anger. She blatantly made a deal in her shop. But they didn't seem to do anything wrong. It's just that the occasion is a bit bad. You can't open a business and say, "If you want to trade, please leave." The little girl cursed in her heart. Suddenly she thought of something and stared at the thin bamboo pole. "You certainly won't take the initiative to pay the tax. Should I report you? Well, this sword is yours." The other party simply stood up and turned away. He was even more anxious than Wang Lan. "That, little brother, do you still want your customized sword?" Seeing Wang Lan leaving, the little girl eagerly asked. "That? Sorry, I'm quite satisfied with this sword. Why don't you customize a spare of the same model for me?" "Okay, I'll take a picture." Chapter 52. Walking out of the store, a red sports car suddenly stopped in front of Wang Lan. The car window rolled down, revealing Jiang Sinyu's smiling face. "Wang Lan, what a coincidence!" "Classmate Jiang, are you sure it's a coincidence and not you following me?" Jiang Sinyu's smile immediately disappeared. "Do you think I'm that bored? You say it like you haven't done it before. Hey, are you a man or not?" "No," Wang Lan decisively denied. "I'm just a boy." "Get in." The car door opened and Wang Lan got in without hesitation. Seeing Wang Lan get in the car without hesitation, Jiang Sinyu smiled again. "Didn't you think I was the legendary female driver? How dare you get in the car? You're not the legendary female driver, you're the female driver right in front of me. Last time you used your life to prove that you really can drive. This time I won't say anything. Take me home." The car started, and it actually drove forward slowly. Turn right at my house. I have something to do first," Jiang Sinyu calmly replied. Wang Lan tilted his head and looked out the window. It didn't feel like the car was going that fast, but it was already going 60 kilometers per hour. On the city roads, 60 kilometers per hour was a very fast speed. Actually, I didn't mean to spy on you. I just wanted to know how you usually study. After a long time, Jiang Xinyu suddenly spoke. I lost every test. I cried every time I did. All the tears I've shed in my life have been for you. Wang Lan couldn't help but shudder when she heard this resentful voice. In his mind, two extremes appeared. One was Jiang Xinyu's affectionate confession. The other was the dark version raising a hatchet. I asked Bing Xingbing to hack into your computer for me because I wanted to see how you study. After all, to defeat an enemy, you have to understand everything about them. To be treated as an enemy by Xinyu. I'm flattered. Don't misunderstand. You know what I mean by enemy. I understand. Who did you admire when you were young? But I really didn't expect that you would take it seriously. I didn't take it seriously before, but after losing so many times, I gradually took it seriously. If I can't even beat you once, how can I, Jiang Xinyu, be proud and complacent? What was the point of having so many trophies and medals? I haven't even gotten first place once. The atmosphere fell silent again. I'm sorry. Suddenly, Jiang Xinyu turned to look at Wang Lan and said solemnly, "Watch the road." I'm sorry. I really didn't do it on purpose. At that time, I was young and didn't know any better. Later, when I found out that it was an invasion of your privacy, I was very afraid. I was afraid that you would really get angry and even break off our friendship. There was a period of time when I was very worried. These 2 years, I didn't dare to see you. Xinyu, can you please look at the road you're driving? Wang Lan's face turned pale. You still dare to say that you're not the legendary female driver? Your female driver is even scarier than the legends. Ah! Suddenly, the car made a sharp turn and avoided the guardrail at the fork in the road. For a moment, Wang Lan's heart was in his mouth. Xinyu, don't drive anymore. After the car was back under control, Wang Lan patted his chest and sighed. I'm not usually like this. Today was just an accident. Like hell I'll believe you. I forgive you. Wang Lan quickly replied, afraid that Jiang Xinyu would do it again. After I found out that Bing Shui was you, I didn't blame you. At that time, you were only 12 or 13 years old. Kids don't know any better. Also, without Bing Shui, Xiao AI classmate wouldn't have come out. It's okay. But Xiao AI classmate has been chasing Bing Shui for years. Last month, Bing Shui went out of the country for a stroll. 10 minutes after he appeared, Xiao AI followed closely behind. If Bing Shui didn't place a warning bomb in advance, Bing Shui would have been caught. That was the command I gave to Xiao AI 3 years ago. I went back and cancelled the command. Actually, artificial intelligence can grow faster by interacting with each other. The reason why Xiao AI and Bing Shui can grow so fast is because of the years of chasing. The record of them running into each other every year is more than 100 times. Every year, their intelligence is improving significantly. Bing Shui is a copy program of my company's smart computer. But in just 3 years, Bing Shui's intelligence has far surpassed his original body. The two of us accidentally fooled around and seem to have created 2 amazing things. Really? Anyway, my Xiao AI classmate is my butler. You can't have any ideas about him. I won't hand him over to anyone. Bing Shui is also my child. I won't hand him over either. The car stopped at the entrance of the Takashi Hoshi Hall. What are you doing here? To buy Takashi Hoshi skills. Since I've successfully advanced to Nebula, my Takashi Hoshi skills have to keep up. Today, there are a few new A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills on the market. You can improve yourself. Keep up with Takashi Hoshi skills? Are you saying that after reaching a certain level, you can only improve by learning new Takashi Hoshi skills? What about the old Takashi Hoshi skills? Of course. Why are there 5 levels of Takashi Hoshi skills? Isn't it because Takashi Hoshi skills have different levels of power? C-grade Takashi Hoshi skills have C-grade power. A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills have A-grade power. Of the Takashi Hoshi skills that I know, only one is a win-grade A-grade Takashi Hoshi skill. The rest are all B-grade. This time, I'll buy a few A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills and try to learn them before school starts. Is that so? What if I upgrade the B-grade Takashi Hoshi skills to A-grade? How is that possible? Jiang Xinyu unbuckled her seatbelt and got out of the car. On the other hand, non-elemental Takashi Hoshi skills could theoretically be learned by anyone. However, one should not assume that non-elemental skills were not as powerful as elemental skills. Takashi Hoshi skills with and without elemental attributes were relatively similar in terms of power. As for the difficulty of learning, it was easiest to learn the elemental Takashi Hoshi skills. Non-elemental Takashi Hoshi skills were mostly high-level applications of star power. The requirements for Takashi Hoshi were very high. Either you were talented enough or you were hardworking enough. As for the A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills, which were the two skills that Wang Lan had just learned, the cheapest one was 5 million yuan. As expected, it was not something that ordinary people could afford. Jiang Xinyu's personality was straightforward and decisive. The 4 A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills seemed to be prepared for Jiang Xinyu. They were packaged directly and cost 20 million yuan. How inhumane. You're not buying? I saw a lot of C-grade Takashi Hoshi skills that suit you, Jiang Xinyu whispered. Forget it. Why? Once you've seen the sea, you're no water. Once you've seen Mount Wu, you're no cloud. Jiang Xinyu blushed and rolled her eyes at Wang Lan flirtatiously. Sister, you've misunderstood. I meant it literally, didn't I? I've just learned 2 A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills. Do you think I'll be interested in these C-grade skills? Among the A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills, there was nothing that Wang Lan wanted. After leaving the Takashi Hoshi hall, Jiang Xinyu sent Wang Lan home. Before they parted ways, Jiang Xinyu called out to Wang Lan. You should work hard this semester. The theory class ended in the second year. The third year is mainly for sprinting for the provincial martial arts competition and the college entrance exam. Although your strength is not bad, it's best if you practice a few Takashi Hoshi skills. Star Blazing can already display the power of Takashi Hoshi skills. I'll be in seclusion for the rest of the month. You'll have to work hard for the 2 years you fell behind. Got it. Be careful on the road. Jiang Xinyu closed the car door. Her face was a little angry. Pig trotter. Wang Lan turned around and returned to the Xinyu building. Of the many skill points he was rewarded, half of them were spent on Nebula Sword Dance to Silver Level 5. The remaining 200 were spent on Inch Punch to Silver Level 2, Flaming Blade to Silver Level 1, and the remaining 200 were spent on Basic Combat and Body Movement. All his skills were at Silver Level, but his skill points were all used up. He had just joined the Heavenly Sword Bureau, so he shouldn't have anything to do so soon. Earning skill points and leveling up should be put aside for now. The most important thing was to catch up on his classes. He needed to spend a month catching up on the 2 years of Takashi Hoshi classes. This was a very difficult task. The teaching materials that he bought with his Takashi Hoshi card had already been delivered. They were piled up in the study room, occupying an entire square meter. If he couldn't catch up with the average level of the third year, Wang Lan would have to start all over again from the first year. This was something that Wang Lan absolutely couldn't accept. I thought that after awakening the system, I would be able to say goodbye to those years of churning through a sea of questions. The revolution hasn't succeeded yet. I still have to work hard. Chapter 53. Fortunately, Wang Lan had long been accustomed to the boring study life. He could endure the loneliness and mastered his own set of study method. For a month, he woke up at 6 o'clock every day, went to bed at 10 o'clock, and had 3 meals a day. After a full month, he finally went through all 3 years' worth of teaching materials. But did he really master it after going through it once? Wang Lan could only say that he had mastered the basic level. If he wanted to catch up with Jiang Xinyu and Su Xiangwen, he would have to spend another half a year practicing and understanding repeatedly. Learning was never something that could be done overnight. But it was time for school to start. 2 days ago, Wang Lan received the admission notice from Sioux City No. 1 Middle School's Takashi Hoshi campus. It said that the admission class was grade 12 class 1. He didn't know if it was Jiang Xinyu's doing or if it was arranged by the school itself. Wang Lan's house was not far from Sioux City No. 1 Middle School. He usually walked to school, and if he could squeeze in the bus, he would take it. Today, because school had started, every bus was packed, so Wang Lan walked to school leisurely. After being in the same school for 2 years, this was the first time Wang Lan entered Takashi Hoshi campus. When he arrived at the entrance, he saw Jiang Xinyu in a white dress leaning against the door and looking at him. Beside Jiang Xinyu, Su Xiangwen and Gong Feiyu were talking about something with their arms around each other's shoulders. Wang Lan strode forward. "You guys are here so early? Lanzi, you're here? What early? Everyone woke up early on the first day of school. Lanzi, you're the only one who's like an old cadre. You're as steady as an old dog all year round." He followed the 3 of them into class 1. Almost half of the class was already there. Wang Lan could clearly feel that many eyes were on him. After 2 years of being classmates, the sudden appearance of an unfamiliar face would of course attract extra attention. Only the students in junior high and elementary school held Wang Lan in high regard. High school students in the same batch might have heard of Wang Lan's name, but most of them didn't know what he looked like. "Where should I sit?" Jiang Xinyu pointed at a seat not far away. That used to be Wang Yul's seat. When Wang Lan put down his bag and sat down, there was a buzz among the teachers. Wang Lan secretly sized up the class. As expected of the Takashi Hoshi campus, there were so many weirdos. Some of them had their hair dyed in various colors, some of them were dressed in non-mainstream clothing, and there were even a few punks in the corner of the classroom. The ratio of men to women was very balanced, but their hairstyles were very distinctive. Wang Lan's image was supposed to be drowned out by the crowd, but in this classroom, he was an anomaly. Wang Lan picked up her book and started reading quietly. After some time, the bell rang for the start of class. Outside the classroom, the sexy female teacher walked into the classroom in high heels. "Students, we haven't seen each other for a summer vacation. Did you miss Teacher Ju? I think, especially in the dead of night. I'm getting moldy from staying at home. Alright, now I'm going to announce a serious piece of news. Our classmate Wang Yul, when he was training in the training grounds during the summer vacation, he unintentionally discovered the plot of the demon race's spies to destroy the Ting Forest training grounds. Classmate Wang Yul didn't turn a blind eye to it. Instead, he bravely stood up for the sake of the nation and followed them. He was careless and was discovered. Then, he was hunted down by the demons and sacrificed himself gloriously. Although he sacrificed himself, he successfully passed the information to the training grounds garrison. As a result, the demons' plot was foiled by the training grounds garrison. The demons' forces in the training grounds were completely wiped out by us humans. While celebrating our victory, let us give a round of applause to our martyr, classmate Wang Yul. Crisp applause rang out. Wang Lan had forgotten to ask if there would be any trouble with Wang Yul's death. Now it seemed that there wouldn't be any trouble. To the general public, your death was great and worthy. Alright, then there's another piece of news to tell everyone. From today onwards, our class has a new classmate. Classmate Wang Lan, please stand up and greet your classmates. Hello everyone, my name is Wang Lan. Everyone may have heard of my name before. I'm Wang Lan from the campus next door. Please take care of me in the future. Prodigy? Why are you here? Damn, Could it be that the campus next door can no longer accommodate you? Prodigy, please tell me loudly. Is your awakened Takashi Hoshi innate skill learning? Your Majesty Prodigy, the heavy responsibility of raising the average score of our class in the future depends on you. Although it was the Takashi Hoshi class, they were indeed the same as the third-year students in the campus next door. They were all a bunch of idiotic teenagers. Classmate Wang Lan, please sit down. Classmate Wang Lan awakened the Takashi Hoshi innate skill during the summer vacation this year. Logically speaking, classmate Wang Lan should start in the first year of high school. However, after the school's discussion and research, in view of classmate Wang Lan's excellent results in the past, they decided to let him directly enter the third year of high school. I think with classmate Wang Lan's ability, you should be able to catch up in the cultural classes, right? I don't think it's a big problem. Wang Lan nodded and smiled confidently. As a prodigy, I'm invincible in the field of learning. Yes, the school also has an additional arrangement for you. If your academic performance in the second half of the semester does not meet the expectations, the school will make an exception and let you repeat a year. I hope classmate Wang Lan doesn't mind. In the eyes of the school leaders, you are a seated student of the 4 major schools. Because of your transfer, the principal of the campus next door almost fought with our principal. The classroom burst into laughter. Alright, let's start the roll call. The classes in the Takashi Hoshi campus were very relaxed. This was something that would never happen in the campus next door. In a normal high school, don't even talk about being tense during class. They didn't even dare to relax after class. Every student and every teacher was racing against time. When the bell rang, the students either left the classroom or gathered in 2s and 3s to chat. How is it? Are you used to it? Jiang Xinyu's voice sounded. It's surprisingly easy. At this moment, Wang Lan noticed a girl with long orange-red hair who was 2 rows behind her slowly and hesitantly moved over. The girl looked sweet and had a tall and slender figure. Perhaps she was a bit shy, but when she came to Jiang Xinyu's side, she hesitated to speak. Jiang Xinyu acted as if she didn't see it, but Wang Lan turned around and looked at the girl with some confusion. Classmate Xie? Jiang Xinyu turned her head and asked indifferently. Xinyu, Wang Yul died. Is there a vacancy in your team? I want to ask. Jiang Xinyu's eyes flashed with a trace of pity as she slowly shook her head. You're too weak. Xinyu, I'm actually very hard-working. During the summer break, I successfully broke through to the late stage of the star stage. Also, I'm talented in controlling star power. I won't be a burden. Your strength isn't the main problem. Our team is already full. Jiang Xinyu helplessly shook her head. Is that so? Then, I'm sorry for bothering you. Xie Cici's tone was very downcast as she silently turned around and left. Xinyu. Wang Lan waited until Xie Cici left before whispering to Jiang Xinyu. Lan Zi, now you know where Xinyu got her title of Ice Queen, right? Cold as ice, cold as snow, merciless and merciless, Your Majesty. Su Xiangwen lightly laughed as he teased. Entering the training grounds with the strength of the heavenly body tier is suicide. Also, I can't always take care of her. Rather than being soft-hearted and leading her into a desperate situation, I might as well cut off her thoughts now. Wang Lan silently nodded. Sometimes, being soft-hearted didn't mean being good to others. Being heartless was also a form of caring. I say, class rep, you really don't know your place. You're really going up there. Us commoners are nothing in her eyes. Luckily, she rejected you. If she didn't reject you, I'm afraid you won't even know how you died. At this time, one of the 4 people in the class suddenly called out in a sarcastic tone. Songbo, what do you mean? I wouldn't dare, I wouldn't dare. What do I mean? Wang Yul definitely entered the training grounds with you 3. The 3 of you came out alive, but he died without knowing why. TSK. Who knows how he died? Songbo, do you have a death wish? Why don't you go to the field to practice in the afternoon? Su Xiangwen suddenly shouted angrily at the row of tables. Does young Master Su only know how to reason with two big swords? Squad leader Xie, I advise you not to be snubbed in the future. They're rich young masters and we're commoners. We have to know our place. Who's eating lemons? Wang Lan suddenly shouted as he fanned himself hard. Eating lemons? Who's that? If no one eats lemons, why is there such a strong sour smell in the air? It seems like the academic prodigy has a problem with what I said? Song Bo laughed coldly. That's true. The academic prodigy who entered the classroom with them should also be rich young masters, right? Don't spread rumors. I'm very poor. It's just that you've been spouting nonsense since the beginning. I can't stand it anymore. How am I spouting nonsense? Why don't you tell me? Why is Wang Yul dead, but the three of them are still alive? How can you be sure that Wang Yul wasn't killed by them? Wang Yul was killed by demon's spies. There's official news and announcements about it, so it shouldn't be fake, right? As for why Jiang Xinyu, Su Xiangwen, and the other two are fine, isn't it obvious? They're strong, so they survived. Wang Yul's level was too low, so of course he didn't survive. What's wrong? Is your logic that the strong have a low survival rate? That's illogical. Also, you said that commoners are nothing in the eyes of rich young masters. Are there rich young masters and commoners in Jade State? Who in the class would like to speak up? Who has ever bragged about being from a wealthy family? Is it wrong to have a superior family background? I've never heard of anyone from a superior family background claiming to be rich and looking down on commoners. Instead, I've heard it all from you. Jiang Xinyu and the others didn't say that they're rich, but you call yourselves commoners. It seems like you're the one who really looks down on commoners. As for you saying that you're nothing in the eyes of Jiang Xinyu, that's even more wrong. I think that you're still nothing in Jiang Xinyu's heart. Otherwise, she should have ignored your nonsense. Ha ha ha. Brilliant, too brilliant. Brother, you're wrong. How can you be nothing? You can still be considered a fart. Ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. The prodigy's ability to scold others is indeed extraordinary. The students in the classroom suddenly burst into laughter. However, Song Bo and the other three were trembling with anger. You're courting death. Song Bo was about to rush forward when the temperature in the classroom suddenly dropped. Ding ling ling. At this moment the bell rang. Chapter 54. The bell for class rang, and all the students who were watching the fun returned to their seat. Takashi Hoshi class had 3 cultural classes in the morning, and martial arts classes in the afternoon. The Takashi Hoshi teachers were hired by the school to teach basic fighting skills. Lunch after lunch, Wang Lan habitually walked up to the rooftop. He was used to relaxing like this. After a period of study, standing on the rooftop and looking into the distance, the feeling of the wind blowing his hair was very relaxing. When Wang Lan arrived at the rooftop, he was shocked to find 4 reclining chairs on the rooftop. Each reclining chair was accompanied by a parasol. Su Xianwen and Gong Feiyu were already lying on the reclining chairs, reading a magazine. The straw of the cola was placed next to Su Xiangwen's mouth. Gulp, gulp, the atmosphere of the rooftop was instantly destroyed, leaving only the rich taste of the golden beach. Wang Lan, you're late. Su Xianwen gently picked up his dark sunglasses. How is it? Are you satisfied? Wang Lan took a deep breath and came to the edge of the rooftop. The school district in the distance was in front of him. The feng shui treasured place that I carefully selected has been destroyed by you too. Why did you put up reclining chairs on the rooftop? And a parasol? How about this? How about you put up a barbecue grill? Makes sense. I'm tired of eating takeout every day. Feiyu, can you get some ingredients tomorrow and we'll barbecue ourselves? Damn, are you serious? Wang Lan didn't realize that these two were so pretentious before. Does your family own this rooftop? It's not my family's, but... This building was built by Sinyu's family, so only we have the right to use the rooftop. Otherwise, why do you think we're the only ones who can put up reclining chairs and parasols in such a good place? Haha. Wang Lan expressed that he didn't have a common language with them. He came to the reclining chair next to Su Xianwen and sat down. Xianwen, what's the situation in class? Su Xianwen slowly moved the magazine away. Are you asking about Song Bo, Wu Xiaowei, and the others? Not all of them. There are also those so-called commoners and wealthy families. I feel that there are only 50 people in our class, but they are divided into 7 or 8 groups. To put it nicely, they formed their own circles. To put it bluntly, they were divided into factions. This is just a class. Well, it's your first time in class and you're not used to it. Actually, it's not as complicated as you made it out to be. It's actually just divided into 5 categories. That's a good word to use. Could a normal class be divided into 5 categories? Your circle is really complicated. What noble circle? You're part of our noble circle now. You're one of us. Su Xianwen took a sip of Coke and smiled. Although we are still students, we are also Takashi Hoshi. Since he was a Takashi Hoshi, it was inevitable that he would be classified. Do you know about the chain of contempt in the Takashi Hoshi world? There's a chain of contempt. It's just a way of saying it. It's just like how stage actors despise movie actors and movie actors despise TV drama actors. Is it really despise? It's definitely not. It's just a tacit acknowledgement of status. It's also related to strength. In the Takashi Hoshi world, basically standing at the top of the chain of contempt is the Takashi Hoshi family. It's a family with inherited talents and Takashi Hoshi skills. There are 3 in our class. They don't play with us and we don't play with them. Below is the Takashi Hoshi family and what they call the rich families. The Takashi Hoshi family refers to the classmates whose parents are Takashi Hoshi. In addition to the knowledge they learned in school, they can also be given special treatment by their parents at home. They can also cultivate with the soul orbs provided by their parents. And the rich families are people like us. But the rich families weren't proposed by us. It was proposed by those idiots in the Commoners' Genius Society. We prefer to call ourselves the Krypton Gold Clan. Since Xian doesn't save the innocent, then let's change our fate. People like us basically have families that run companies, but our parents are ordinary people. We worked hard and awakened the Takashi Hoshi talent. Of course, our families are willing to spend a lot of money to support us. Takashi Hoshi skills buy. Soul orbs buy. Weapons buy. Because of this, some idiots are jealous and deliberately aggravate the conflict. Most of the people in our class are from ordinary families. There are 50 people in the class, and more than 30 are ordinary people. Their parents are ordinary people and are just ordinary workers. Not to mention the financial ability to buy soul orbs and skills for them, they may not even be able to eat freely. Wang Lan was speechless. That's exaggerated. They can't even eat enough? Didn't they say that they're going to eliminate the poor this year? How many people are going to be shot? Your awakening time is short, and you haven't taken the practical class. It's normal that you don't know. Gong Feiyu smiled and said, I don't know if you noticed this morning that most of the students in our class are thin? I did notice that. After all, Takashi Hoshi needs to practice martial art. Actually, this isn't the main reason. In the first year of high school, Takashi Hoshi teacher taught us how to extract astral power. This isn't in the textbook. Takashi Hoshi can extract astral power from cells to increase their astral power. However, there's a drawback to this method. After extracting the energy from cells, there will be a lack of nutrients and people will be very hungry. Takashi Hoshi's appetite is generally twice that of ordinary people. If they extract the energy from cells, their appetite will increase by 10 times. We're all ordinary workers. Even if the parents work hard, it's not easy to maintain the expenses of the family. How can they afford to eat such a big appetite? Most children in ordinary families can't eat their fill. However, this can't be helped. If you don't want to go hungry, then don't extract the energy from cells. However, if you don't extract the energy from cells, you can't keep up with others, so… Actually, sometimes we sympathize with these students. In the first year of high school, we often treated our classmates to meals. However, since the appearance of the Commoners' Genius Society, we stopped asking for trouble. The president of the Commoners' Genius Society is called Duan Ziki. I heard that she's a genius from an orphanage. At the age of 8, she awakened the Takashi Hoshi talent and is very strong. She started the Commoners' Genius Society and specially invited talented students from the commoners to join the society. At first, their purpose was that even if they were commoners, as long as they worked hard, they would definitely surpass us, the Kryptonians. However, gradually, things changed. They started to encourage commoners to be hostile towards us. When we treated our classmates to meals, they promoted it as a reward or charity. The classmates who ate our food were all beggars. Our good intentions have turned out to be bad people in the end. Therefore, after that, we stopped treating our classmates to meals. However, although the Commoners' Genius Society's rat shit is disgusting, most of our classmates are still quite good. However, we all tacitly agreed to our own circles, which became the things you see. Sure enough, where there are people, there will be politics. Wang Lan sighed. Then which circle do I belong to? Do you even need to ask? Of course you belong to our circle. But my family doesn't have a company or business. Moreover, my mother is a Takashi Hoshi. If that's the case, I should belong to a Takashi Hoshi family. Bullshit. Your mother is the Yen Emperor of the 5 Emperors. The Takashi Hoshi family circle doesn't dare to accept you. Either that, or you belong to the Takashi Hoshi family circle. However, the Takashi Hoshi family circle's standard is 4 generations of Takashi Hoshi. You're only the 2nd generation. Moreover, although your family doesn't have a company, you make a lot more money than my father, okay? In Sioux City, you have 3 office buildings in the business center. Just the rent alone is 80 million. In Shanghai, you have a business center that's valued at 3 billion. In the capital, you have 2. You're the real rich, nouveau riche. Let's become sworn brothers, okay? Who did this? Suddenly, a cold voice sounded. Jiang Xinyu had appeared on the rooftop without anyone noticing. I did it. Are you satisfied? Su Xianguan proudly pushed his sunglasses up. Too ostentatious. There will be a mock exam in the afternoon. So be it. We didn't slack off during the summer vacation. I heard from Hu He that Song Bo and the others are going to teach Wang Lan a lesson this afternoon. Song Bo and the other 3 Takashi Hoshi aren't very skilled, but their kung fu is not weak. Moreover, they didn't go offline when they attacked. Their moves are very insidious. Be careful. Insidious moves? For example? Gong Feiyu slowly stood up. For example, monkey sneaks away, black tiger steals heart, 1,000 years of death. Cough, cough, cough. Wang Lan felt goosebumps all over his body. That's too wretched. What's even more wretched is that they don't differentiate between men and women. In the afternoon, the bell rang for class. In the martial arts building, the students of the first class formed a fan and sat directly on the wooden floor. This exam is mainly to test the progress of your Takashi Hoshi skills, so that I can arrange the next step of your study plan. The middle-aged coach held a roster and said lightly, 1 summer vacation, 2 months. You must have had a very comfortable time, right? However, you are Takashi Hoshi. You were born to fight and become stronger. For Takashi Hoshi, there is no vacation, no rest, and no comfort. When there is a battle, you fight. When there is no battle, you cultivate. On a larger scale, you shoulder the heavy responsibility of protecting human civilization. As long as the threat is not removed, your nerves should always be tense. On a smaller scale, in less than a year, you will take the college entrance exam. Whether you are a dragon in the sea or a dragon in the shallow water, it depends on your daily efforts. This exam is mainly to test your fighting strength. Compared to last semester's final exam, whether you have improved or regressed. The exam is a 2-on-1 battle. The students whose names are reported will come out to take the exam. After the exam, they will sit opposite each other. Jiang Xinyu, Song Qi. The exam began. Jiang Xinyu was one of the top 3 absolute fighting strength in Sioux City No. 1 Middle School. Even if she didn't use her star power Takashi Hoshi skills, her fighting skills were far superior to other students. The student who fought with her almost had no power to resist. However, there were a few times when Jiang Xinyu could have finished the battle in one hit, but Wang Lan could see that she was holding back. This gave Song Qi the most space to display her skills. 5 minutes later, Song Qi was knocked to the ground and admitted defeat. The two of you have improved a lot during this summer vacation. Keep up the good work. Thank you, teacher. The next two, Ma Qingqing, Su Jiyu. The fighting level of Sioux City No. 1 Middle School. In Wang Lan's opinion, it was very ordinary. At least, among the people who were currently on the stage, he felt that the only one who could fight with him was Jiang Xinyu. After all, the basic fighting skills of star blazing were not necessarily at the level of a silver level. Unless it was someone with star blazing's fighting specialty, they could be beaten up by Wang Lan. Next group, CSCC and Song Bo. Hearing this grouping, CSCC's face suddenly turned pale. Song Bo stood up with a smug look on his face. He strode forward as if he was the most handsome kid in the venue. Song Bo, CSCC's fighting strength is not high. Don't be too harsh. I know. How would I dare to hit the class leader? Song Bo, please advise me. Please. Soon, they began to fight. CSCC's fighting ability was not good. Her movements were standard but stiff. She had no momentum and no ability to adapt. There was only one reason for this situation. She was training alone and no one was sparring with her. No matter how much one trained, it was just an empty shell. Suddenly, Song Bo's face revealed a sly smile. His momentum suddenly changed. His figure flashed forward, and he struck CSCC's arm joints 3 times. Suddenly, he punched out. Wang Lan immediately stood up, but it was too late. CSCC was hit in the chest by a palm, and her body flew backward in an instant. Pooh! Blood splattered everywhere. This scene scared the whole class so much that their faces turned pale. Chapter 55. The sight of CSCC spurting out blood was out of everyone's expectations. Everyone was in disbelief. Even Song Bo was at a loss. But among all the students, only Wang Lan understood what had happened. Hidden Force Fist. Hidden Force Fist was a Hidden Force Fist, but it wasn't the same. Hidden Force Fist was a general term for a type of fist technique. Hidden Force Fist was just one of the Hidden Force Fist technique. Through a special method of exerting force, it could make a seemingly normal punch explode with power several times stronger. Among the Hidden Force Fist techniques, there was a type of fist technique that was even more vicious. Its force would invade the target's internal organs and cause internal damage. On the other hand, the Hidden Strength Fist technique required repeated practice and comprehension. This was something that could only be understood and not explained in words. Song Bo, what are you doing? The combat teacher shouted angrily. I don't know. I just wanted to push her away with a normal palm. I don't know what happened to CSCC either. I didn't do it on purpose. You two of you, quickly send CSCC to the infirmary. Wang Lan quickly ran to CSCC's side. Jiang Xinyu's figure flashed and followed. Wang Lan touched CSCC's neck to feel her pulse. What a vicious punch. The hidden force penetrated and directly penetrated her stomach. This kind of injury couldn't be cured. It could only be nursed. Moreover, the amount and type of food she could ingest would be limited. In other words, if it was treated with traditional methods, CSCC's stomach would be as useless as a newborn baby's. As for what Song Bo said about unintentionally throwing the punch, it was impossible. Even if you wanted to throw a hidden force fist, you might not be able to do it, let alone unintentionally. This required the mobilization of dozens of muscles in the body and the strength of the muscles to flow to the hand like water. This was a complicated and precise operation that could be completed in an instant. Unintentional? It was as difficult as being able to get into Tsinghua University with your eyes closed. Don't move, Wang Lan whispered to Jiang Xinyu. Severe internal injury, stomach perforation. Block it for me. Jiang Xinyu understood. Wang Lan secretly reached his hand into CSCC's collar and pressed on her stomach. The star power surged and quickly healed CSCC's injuries. Why aren't you sending him to the medical department? Wang Lan is a Takashi Hoshi, a medical awakened. He's in the middle of treatment. I'll assist him. The instructor's eyes lit up and a surprised smile appeared on his face. Wang Lan's name was well known among the teaching staff of Sioux City's No. 1 middle school. The fact that Wang Lan was able to awaken the Takashi Hoshi talent on the eve of his second year of high school could only be described as a miracle. However, he was originally a seed student who could get into the best university in Jade State, but he suddenly transferred to the Takashi Hoshi campus. The school of Sioux City No. 1 middle school was not happy. However, what could they do? All students with the Takashi Hoshi talent had to go to the Takashi Hoshi class. However, the principal of the Takashi Hoshi campus actually allowed Wang Lan to enter the third year of high school directly. This move was seen by many as destroying Wang Lan's future. Even if Wang Lan was a genius, he had lagged behind for 2 years. It was already the limit for him to catch up with the average grades in 1 year. As for getting into a good university? What a joke. However, the principal had given a strict order during the teachers' meeting to focus on nurturing Wang Lan. What should he do? Lu Jie was stressed out. But now, Lu Jie suddenly realized that his headmaster was indeed a scheming and astute man. Wang Lan was a medical Takashi Hoshi. He could definitely get into a good university without doing anything. Under the cover of Jiang Xinyu's body, no one saw Wang Lan reach his hand into CSCC's collar. CSCC, who was unconscious, might not know either. A few seconds later, Wang Lan pulled his hand out and stood up at lightning speed. Her body is fine now. That's good. Wang Lan, I didn't expect you to be a medical Takashi Hoshi. What injuries can you treat? Basically, I can treat all physical injuries. It's just that it's a little draining, but it's not a problem. Okay, let's move on to the next pair. Soon, the 24 pairs in the class were done. However, there were 50 people in the class, and logically speaking, there should be 25 pairs. Because Qin Xiaoqiao took a leave of absence, Wang Lan ended the test today because it's his first day of school. He's really lucky. He doesn't even need to take the test. Teacher, what's Wang Lan's ranking in this test? A male voice sounded in the hall. Wang Lan didn't take the test, so he won't be included in the ranking. Is that so? Then, is Wang Lan in our class? Teacher, have you considered Wang Lan's feelings before doing this? The prodigy has condescended to our class, and the teacher actually treats him as an outsider. That's right. This is a mock test. Teacher, you should at least find out the background of the new student, right? Wang Lan looked over and saw that the people who spoke were the 4 members of the so-called Commoner Genius Society. Song Bo, in particular, was the fiercest. Teacher Lu, I'd better take the test. Before I became a Takashi Hoshi, I also learned how to fight, so I'm considered to have a foundation. Is that so? Then I'll ask a classmate to spar with you. Don't go too far. Teacher, I'll do it. In the crowd, the tall and burly Qin Jian stood up with a whoosh. Let me do it. Song Bo also stood up with a smile. Sit down. I haven't even punished you for injuring CSCC to this extent. What do you want to do now? Teacher Lu, what are you saying? I'll go turn myself in after class, okay? Who knew that CSCC's health wasn't good? She didn't say anything. My palm was soft and didn't have much strength. Everyone could see that. Jiang Xinyu sneered in her heart. She lowered her head and saw that CSCC in her arms seemed to have woken up. Are you okay? I don't feel pain anymore? I'm fine. When CSCC said this, her ears instantly turned red. Teacher, let's go with Song Bo. I saw it just now. Song Bo didn't do it on purpose. It should be CSCC's stomach ulcer caused by her irregular diet. After being punched by Song Bo, her stomach ulcer was triggered. Let Song Bo spar with me. Don't go too far. Is this a stomach ulcer? Lu Jie looked at Wang Lan with a strange expression. Do you think I've never seen a stomach ulcer before, or do you think I can't tell what kind of injury it is? Teacher Lu, Wang Lan is a medical Takashi Hoshi. How can he be wrong? Su Xiangwen said with a smile. That's right. Since Song Bo is so enthusiastic, I can't stop Wang Lan from interacting with the other students. Gong Feiyu chimed in. Okay. Lu Jie was a little worried, but he still agreed. Don't go too far. Song Bo, you're not allowed to attack Wang Lan's vital parts. Do you understand? Understood. His limbs are fine, right? Song Bo came to the field with a face full of excitement. He had only hit CSCC because he was angry that this B*TCH had embarrassed the four of them this morning. He had only punched her with hidden force to vent his anger. But to Wang Lan? How can I vent my anger if I don't cripple you? You're still a fart? It would have been over if you had used another way to curse. Why did you have to curse in such a classic way? Now, not to mention the Year 3 students, even the Year 1 and Year 2 students had spread the word. In just one morning, people had given him the nickname Brother Fart. What the F***ck? It was a great humiliation, and his reputation was notorious. If I don't let you be a cripple for the rest of your life, I, Song Bo, will change my surname to yours. As for Jiang Xinyu and the others, why did they not stop him? Instead, they were happy to let Wang Lan spar with him? This made Song Bo's heart waver a little. However, it was rejected in an instant. At the very most, Wang Lan had only awakened for 2 months. How high could his fighting skills be? In the eyes of a Takashi Hoshi, the fighting skills of an ordinary person were just child's play. Only when one became a Takashi Hoshi would one's fighting skills be considered to have started. This fist of mine took 5 years of effort. You, a newbie who had only awakened for 2 months, want to block it? Dream on. Student Song Bo, please advise. Wang Lan bowed respectfully in front of Song Bo. Student Wang Lan, please advise. You attack first. As he spoke, he placed one hand behind his back and the other in front of his chest. Wang Lan raised his fist and rushed toward Song Bo in large strides. Song Bo raised his eyebrows and sneered. Weak footsteps and unstable lower body. Your intention to attack is too obvious. You don't have any intention of fainting? What a newbie trash. Just as he thought of this, Wang Lan's eyes suddenly changed. He took a step and his body instantly moved forward. Song Bo's expression changed greatly. He hurriedly crossed his hands in front of his chest to block. But Wang Lan's hands were like a mantis knife hand. In an instant, he blocked Song Bo's hands. His fist instantly turned into a palm. Boom! With a push of the palm, Song Bo's body was suddenly sent flying. Song Bo, who was sent flying, spat out blood. The pain of his internal organs being burned instantly spread throughout his body. And this series of actions was so fast that even Lu Jie couldn't react in time. The surroundings were dead silent. All the students' eyes were wide open. They looked at Wang Lan's back in disbelief. This was especially so for CSCC. While she was shocked, there was only one word left in her mind. So handsome, the same scene. Could it be that Wang Lan did it for me? The little girl's thoughts were complicated. In an instant, her heart was as sweet as honey. Dong! With a muffled sound, Song Bo landed on the ground at this time. Challenge successful. Reward: 10 experience points, 1 skill point. Cough, cough, cough. A violent cough sounded, accompanied by blood foam. Ah! How could this be? You? Song Bo, do you also have a stomach ulcer? Wang Lan exclaimed in disbelief. Song Bo! The other three hurriedly ran to Song Bo's side and were about to help him up. Suddenly, a crisp sound came from Song Bo's chest. Crack! Song Bo quickly let out a scream. Wang Lan's previous punch broke 3 of Song Bo's ribs. But the strength was controlled so well that it was only broken but not dislocated. And this time, with the help of the 3 students, the ribs were dislocated. It's broken, broken, you! Qin Jian turned around furiously. Teacher, didn't you say that you're not allowed to attack the vital parts? Aren't you going to do something about it? Wang Lan, give me an explanation. Lu Jie's face suddenly became gloomy. This was blatant. Teacher, you said that you're not allowed to attack the vital parts of Song Bo. You didn't say that to me. And the part one attacked wasn't the vital part. As for Song Bo vomiting blood, everyone saw it. I just pushed him a little. It shouldn't have happened, right? King broke Song Bo's ribs. Qin Jian shouted sternly. The venue was so quiet just now. I think many students heard it. It seems that the crisp sound just now was when you helped him up, right? There's a surveillance video here. We can take it out and watch the replay. I say, did you take the opportunity to break Song Bo's bones and use it to frame me? Wang Lan had an innocent look on her face, causing the other students to be baffled. Just now, it seemed that Wang Lan had only pushed Song Bo lightly and sent him flying. If that could break his bones, how osteoporosis must he be? Jiang Xinyu, on the other hand, smiled faintly. Wang Lan, treat Song Bo. Teacher, I've used up all my star power to treat CSCC just now. It'll take about 3 hours to recover. Don't worry, I'll treat him before school ends. Chapter 56. After the test, Lu Jie began to give professional guidance to each student. The injured Song Bo sat in the corner and coughed from time to time. Qin Jian and the other 2 surrounded Song Bo and asked in a low voice, Song Bo, what's wrong with you? Why did he push you so lightly? Lightly, my ass. He's an expert. An ancient martial arts expert. What do you think his palm was? You mean his palm and the one you threw earlier? The exact same force. He did it on purpose. I finally understand why Jiang Xinyu and the rest are encouraging me to fight with Wang Lan. This prodigy is simply a monster. Before he became a Takashi Hoshi, his strength was not inferior to us Takashi Hoshi. He has mastered very advanced ancient martial arts. I see. I was wondering how powerful a medical Takashi Hoshi who has just awakened can be. I see. Song Bo, what should we do? Stop him after school? How? Jiang Xinyu and the rest won't pretend that they didn't see it. If we want to vent our anger, I'm afraid the president and the 12 brothers will have to do it. Wang Lan sat at the side quietly with his head lowered. He was still thinking about the 10 EXP and 1 skill point just now. In the past, he always thought that he had to kill to obtain EXP. Besides, he couldn't kill chickens, fish, or rat. He had to kill at least a heavyweight or even a threat to Wang Lan's life. Apart from completing missions, Wang Lan's EXP was obtained from killing demons, demon soldiers, and demon generals. However, he didn't know that defeating a classmate would give him EXP and skill points. If that was the case, beating up Song Bo would give him 10 EXP and 1 skill point. Beating him up 5 times would be comparable to killing an exotic beast. What if he had to beat him up 100 times a day? That was 1000 EXP and 100 skill points. Thinking of this, Wang Lan suddenly looked up at Song Bo's group of 4. At this moment, the 4 of them were no longer so annoying in Wang Lan's eyes. What are they? Walking EXP and walking skill points. Should I beat him up again? Wang Lan raised his head and looked at Song Bo and the other three with ill intentions. His undisguised gaze made Song Bo and the others tremble. Wang Lan. Wang Lan quickly stood up. Lu Jie lowered his head and looked at the evaluation form. The tip of his pen paused for a moment, and he raised his head to look at Wang Lan. You attacked too quickly just now, and there wasn't enough time for me to see your strength clearly. How about this? I'll be your opponent this time to test your strength. This isn't a good idea, right? Wang Lan asked hesitantly. All the skills in his system were silver skills. Although Lu Jie was a star-blazing Takashi Hoshi, Wang Lan did not think that Lu Jie's overall strength could reach silver level. If he really had such strength, why would he be teaching? He would have joined the Wasteland Reclamation Corps to excavate treasures. Wouldn't it be better to join the army and become a company officer? Don't worry, your teacher will hold back. You don't have to feel pressured. Just attack. I just want to see your weakness. Alright. Wang Lan stood up. The other students in the field were suddenly filled with anticipation. Especially Xie Sisi. Her heartbeat suddenly sped up, and her beautiful eyes sparkled. Lu Jie put down the record in his hand, and unbuttoned his Zhongshan suit one by one, revealing his snow-white shirt. When Lu Jie did these actions, Wang Lan's eyes suddenly became serious. His meticulous actions were normal for ordinary people, but when Lu Jie did it, there was an inexplicable pressure, a strong aura of an expert. Wang Lan narrowed his eyes slightly, and his gaze fell on Lu Jie's head. His glossy black hair was meticulously trimmed. Suit maniac? This was an expert. The moment Lu Jie flung his clothes away, Wang Lan couldn't suppress his impulse to attack, and his body instantly rushed out. Not bad, your aura is not bad. Looks like you've been through a lot of actual combat training. Wang Lan leaped up and his fist came down from above. Lu Jie instantly raised his hand in front of him. Wang Lan's fist met Lu Jie's arm, and his fist came down hard again. Lu Jie's expression was slightly stunned. A force beyond his imagination came from his arm, and then, the shadow of a fist became bigger and bigger in his vision. Boom! Oh! All the students widened their eyes, and watched as Wang Lan's fist came down, and then their combat instructor was hit in the face, and his head fell to the ground. Dong! Ah! Challenge completed. Reward: 10 experience points, 1 skill point. Wang Lan panicked and hurriedly carried Lu Jie. Teacher, Lu Jie. His palm covered Lu Jie's puffed-up cheeks, and warm star power flowed in. Soon, the pain on Lu Jie's face and the dizziness in his head disappeared. The two of them stood up, and the surrounding students buzzed in discussion. Lu Jie's face was a little red. I was careless. I didn't expect Wang Lan to have such great strength. Is this your talent? Yes, teacher. Lu Jie wanted to step down, and Wang Lan took the opportunity to send him a bench. My talent is called Extraordinary Strength Fist. With one punch, I can punch a big hole in the cement wall of the house. Teacher, you're at a disadvantage. So that's how it is. The students suddenly understood. So that's how it is. I knew Teacher Lu couldn't be so weak. He was KO'd with one punch. Lu Jie smiled, very satisfied with Wang Lan's cooperation. Teacher, please be careful. I'm very strong, so please don't let your guard down. Don't worry, I won't be careless this time. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Lan instantly rushed toward Lu Jie again. Lu Jie had indeed learned his lesson. He no longer dared to take Wang Lan's attack head-on. With agile movements, he gently avoided Wang Lan's fist. However, just as he steadied himself, Lu Jie's expression suddenly changed. He had used actual combat movements to dodge just now. He should have been able to pull away from Wang Lan and then counterattack. However, he never expected, before he could steady himself, Wang Lan's figure actually followed him like a shadow. What a fast movement! Lu Jie hurriedly staggered again. His footsteps moved quickly, and he even used feints to confuse his opponent. He combined the dodging techniques of ghost steps and spacewalk, and changed his position twice in a second. However, Wang Lan's movement was still able to easily catch up with him. Is this the strength of your fist? Why didn't you tell me that your speed is also so fast? Just as he was shocked, a black shadow suddenly appeared in front of him. Wang Lan's leg swept over, appearing strangely at an extremely tricky angle. Lu Jie only had time to cross his hands, and the leg fiercely kicked. Whoosh! Lu Jie's figure flew backward again. Pa! He landed on his back with his limbs in the air. Oh! Oh! The world suddenly became very quiet. Challenge completed. Reward: 10 experience points, 1 skill point. As expected, the challenge could be repeated. Teacher, are you okay? Lu Jie slowly sat up and suddenly laughed. Teacher, are you okay? Brat, who is Huang Feilong to you? Teacher Lu knows Master Huang? He's my coach. How many years have you been learning from him? 5 years. How often do you have classes? About 4 or 5 classes a week. Wang Lan was even more confused. The student has surpassed the master. Lu Jie stood up and said to the shocked students, Students, did you see Wang Lan's attack clearly just now? I saw it clearly. Did you understand it? Everyone did not know how to answer this question. Wang Lan was Huang Feilong's disciple. Back then, when Huang Feilong and I were exploring the map together, we were in the same team. The two of us were both close combat maniacs and especially liked close combat. We sparred whenever we had nothing to do, so I found Wang Lan's attack habits familiar at first glance. In your impression, Wang Lan is the prodigy of the campus next door. He's a beginner Takashi Hoshi who has just awakened as a Takashi Hoshi. Just now, he showed his medical Takashi Hoshi talent. However, he has been learning from Huang Feilong for 5 years and has 4 or 5 classes a week. What about you? You've only been learning from me for 2 years. It's okay for some of you to have a family background, but have most of you really worked hard in the past 2 years? Did you use your skills? Wang Lan had already cultivated his combat skills to the professional level before he became a Takashi Hoshi. You're all Takashi Hoshi now. What reason do you have not to work hard? Don't believe that there are geniuses in this world, let alone that there are peerless talents. When you say that someone who is better than you is a genius or is more talented than you, please use your brain. No matter how smart a baby is, it's still a baby. Don't use genius to deny hard work. Seeing Wang Lan today, I suddenly realized that I've been too good to you in the past. I've let you live too comfortably. Now, everyone, except for Song Bo, will do 10 laps around the training hall. Then, do 500 high kicks, 500 side kicks, 500 bounce kicks, 500 whip kicks, 1,000 push-ups, and finally, run 20 laps around the field. Instructor Lu Jie was crazy. With such a full schedule, he didn't give the students a chance to breathe at all. The boys were fine, but this kind of training was simply terrible for the girls. It was September, and it was so hot. Even if a Takashi Hoshi had an extraordinary physique, 3 hours of continuous training was still very tiring. But there were still half of the students in the class who calmly completed the training that seemed like a devil in the eyes of ordinary students. When it was close to the end of school, all the students in the first class sat weakly in the training hall. Lu Jie held the registration form and paced in front of the students. Do you see it? Do you see it? Lu Jie pointed at the half of the students who were calm and composed. Do you see the difference? In the past, some students thought that they were rich kids who only knew how to spend money to buy soul orbs to improve their cultivation. If it weren't for their good parents, they would be nothing. But now? Do you feel ashamed? This kind of training is the most basic and lowest level in the world of Takashi Hoshi. But you? You're so tired that you can't even stand strong. It's not because of good parents or good resources, but because of yourself. Physical fitness is the best way to test a person's daily effort. Could it be that their bodies were also pushed up by star power? If you don't reflect on yourself, you'll be deceiving yourself. I now announce that in the first year of high school, you'll live miserably, so miserably that you won't be able to remember the past after you graduate. I said it. If you can't stand it, I suggest you change classes. Do you understand? Yes. Yes. Class dismissed. Chapter 57. After changing their clothes, the group of students supported each other and walked to the classroom. Wang Lan, I didn't expect you to be a medical Takashi Hoshi. Nice to meet you in the future. Wang Lan, I've been injured. Can you heal me? Wang Lan, let's play together in the future. The medical Takashi Hoshi was indeed the most popular branch in the Takashi Hoshi world. The Takashi Hoshi family circle, which had previously expressed indifference to Wang Lan, and the Takashi Hoshi family circle, all expressed their intention to befriend Wang Lan. Although it was impossible to become friends with just a few words, friendship still started from the very beginning. Suddenly, Song Bo, who had been cured by Wang Lan, appeared in front of Wang Lan. Wang Lan, our president invites you to go after school. If you have the guts, don't run away after school. Okay. Huh? Duan Ziki is awesome. She's sending a dog to invite me? Before Jiang Xinyu and the others could speak, Maigatsuk Castle suddenly came to Wang Lan's side and smiled faintly at Song Bo. Even if you're Duan Ziki's dog, you have to remember that your kennel is in Class 1. If you don't have this awareness, I guarantee that you won't be able to survive in Class 1. Maigatsuk Castle, you. Song Bo's face suddenly turned dark, but he did not dare to speak nonsense. Maigatsuk Castle, the Takashi Hoshi family Mingyue family, was famous for their unparalleled illusion secret techniques in Jade State. To put it bluntly, the Commoner Genius Society only dared to provoke people like Jiang Xinyu, who were rich but had ordinary parents. They didn't even dare to offend the children of the Takashi Hoshi family, let alone the children of the Takashi Hoshi family. That's right. Although you guys were an eyesore in the past, all you did was make some noise and treat it as if you were a fly. However, you should know very well why you punched squad leader Xie today. Do you think we're chicks? You think you can fool us? If it wasn't for Wang Lan teaching you a lesson, do you think you would have a good ending after school? Another representative from the Takashi Hoshi family circle sneered with his arms crossed. Right, shouldn't you apologize to squad leader Xie? Apologize? What's there to apologize for? I'll just... Pa! The slap-stunned Song Bo Wuqing gently waved his hand. Is it that hard to practice the hidden strength fist? The next time you and I are drawn to fight, I would also like to experience your hidden energy fist. Don't be afraid to use it. Even if you don't use it, I will use it. Don't let me punch you to death, okay? As soon as he said this, Song Bo and the other three's faces turned pale. Large beads of cold sweat kept dripping down. Squad leader Xie, come here for a moment. Xie Sisi was called. She looked at Jiang Xinyu in confusion. Accompanied by Jiang Xinyu, she came forward. Squad leader Xie is here. Song Bo, if you don't kneel down and apologize today, we won't be able to let this matter go. I'm not afraid to tell you that there are at least 7 people in our class who know how to use the hidden strength fist. It depends on whether you're au fait or au fait. Calculate the odds of you being drawn against the 7 of us. Song Bo's face turned even paler. His whole body couldn't help but tremble. It wasn't anger but fear. Sparring was a compulsory part of every actual combat class. Every time, the teacher would randomly pick the student. The probability of 25 against a little more than a third. He could dodge it once, but could he dodge it every time? And he thought that his trick would be undetectable, but he didn't expect so many students to see it. I knew that you guys usually pretend to be pigs to eat tigers, but I didn't know that you guys hid it so well. If he didn't give an explanation today, don't even talk about staying in Class 1. He wouldn't even be able to stay in Sioux City Ijong. Under the pressure of a group of students, Song Bo finally gave in. He slowly knelt down in front of CSCC. Class leader, I'm sorry. I learned the hidden strength fist during the summer vacation, but I really didn't know it was so powerful. I just wanted to show off. I really didn't mean to hurt you. I used the hidden strength fist. At that time, at most, I broke out with twice the strength. I didn't do it on purpose. Class leader, please forgive me. This. CSCC was just a weak girl. She suddenly panicked in such a situation. I'm fine now. We're all classmates. You can't do this in the future. Get up. Humph. Song Bo, since the class leader forgave you and you suffered for half a day, we'll let it go. But remember, this is the only time. If you dare to play dirty tricks on your classmates next time, you'll know what a real dirty trick is. Wang Lan was just a spectator throughout the whole process. He didn't say anything and didn't fan the flames. He just watched quietly. He had originally planned to get back at them, but he was beaten up by the United students in minutes. However, this unity might exist because of the existence of Wang Lan, a medical Takashi Hoshi. When the school bell rang, the students in the Takashi Hoshi campus either went to the cafeteria or packed their bags and left. Wang Lan walked down the stairs slowly with his shoulder bag. Jiang Xinyu and Su Xiangwen followed Wang Lan silently. I say, what are you guys doing? Why do you have such a serious expression? Duan Ziki's strength has always been a mystery. Anyway, her comprehensive strength has always been in the top 3 of number 1 high school. She's on par with Xinyu. Even if Xinyu has broken through the nebula, she still doesn't dare to underestimate her. Okay, and then? Of course I'm going with you. Didn't you promise to end things at the Commoners' Genius Society after school? I agreed. Wang Lan asked with her eyes wide open in surprise. You agreed. Does that mean I agreed? Su Xiangwen stopped in his tracks. His expression was very interesting. F***ck. I almost forgot that Lan Zi's style has always been to lie. He even stood Xinyu up so naturally. Who does this Duan Ziqi think he is? He actually wants you to keep your promise? That makes sense. Then what are we doing? Gong Feiyu looked at Su Xiangwen with a bitter smile. Let's go home. Su Xiangwen waved his hand gently and turned to leave. See you tomorrow, Lanzi. Wang Lan, do you want me to send you home? Jiang Xinyu asked faintly. Forget it. Who knows what will happen if my classmates see me tomorrow? I'll take the bus myself. Okay, be careful. Although it was the first day of school, today's harvest was good. Originally, he was worried about how to earn experience and skill points, since he could earn them through battle. Should he change his style? He had been used to keeping a low profile for more than 10 years. After all, his mental age was approaching 40. It was awkward to show off with a group of children. But if he could earn points, it seemed that he could only do it by showing off, right? In his mind, the scene of him setting up the ring appeared. I'm Wang Lan. I've been in the martial arts world for more than 10 years. My life is as lonely as snow. I've long heard that Sioux City No. 1 Middle School's Takashi Hoshi campus is full of masters and strong people. I've set up this ring. I don't seek fame or fortune, but I seek defeat. Whoever beats me, I'll give you 1 million silver coins. Wasn't he too arrogant? Unknowingly, he had arrived at the bus stop. Suddenly, he felt a gaze on his face. He looked up and saw a student in Sioux City No. 1 Middle School's uniform looking at him with a smile. Student Wang Lan, I've long heard of your name. Let me introduce myself. My name is Duan Ziki. I'm from grade 12 class 5. Wang Lan frowned. He didn't expect to be blocked here. Looking for a remote place? Student Wang Lan, you've misunderstood. I'm not here to find trouble with you. Then, Student Wang Lan's talent is peerless. Although I agree that there are no real geniuses in the world, even if there are, they are geniuses who work hard. But with the same amount of hard work, geniuses do improve more than ordinary people. I don't deny student Wang Lan's hard work, but I have to admit that you are a real genius. If the title of study god could be obtained through hard work, then Sioux City would have produced many study gods. If your strength to defeat teacher Lu Jie can be obtained through hard work, those students who have also worked hard for 10 years should also be able to do it. Being praised by the other party, Wang Lan felt a little embarrassed. He did work hard, he added a lot of points. The other party slowly took out a piece of paper from his bag and placed it in front of Wang Lan. I now sincerely invite you to join our Commoners Genius Society. As long as you join, you will immediately become the 13th core member. I will think of a way to provide you with all the resources you need. Too much points. Wang Lan suddenly shouted. Student Duan Ziki, are you misunderstanding something? I remember that your Commoners Genius Society only recruits students from poor families, right? Student Wang Lan, although you seem to have a good relationship with Jiang Xinyu, that rich second generation, from what I know, your family's situation isn't good. You're an orphan like me. Your mother passed away when you were very young. And you, from elementary school until now, you've always walked or taken the bus to school. You've never compared yourself to others, you've never worn branded clothes, and you don't have your own electric scooter. During the summer vacation after your 3rd year of middle school, you delivered milk for people in the morning for 2 whole months. The rest of the time, you delivered food for people. You, on the other hand, rely on your legs to deliver milk and take out, rain or shine. I'm not wrong, right? You can even investigate this clearly. It's not hard to find this information. Wang Lan was speechless. You already investigated it. Can't you investigate it more thoroughly? You're right, I'm an orphan. My mother did indeed pass away when I was very young. Okay, I'm not sure now. But is Little Ant's Jiai biotechnology just for decoration? Also, during the summer vacation, I did deliver milk in the morning and delivered food at other times. I did indeed rely on my legs, rain or shine. But that was a planned cultivation to break through the limits of my physical body. You definitely don't know that when I delivered food and milk, I was wearing 50 pounds of weight. It's not hard to find information about me living in Sinew Building, right? Do you only see what you like to see? Student Wang Lan, I sincerely hope that you can join my Commoners Genius Society. I've always believed that poverty isn't a shackle that limits our growth. It makes us more tenacious, more hard-working, and more united. In principle, I agree with your point of view. But can I ask Student Duan a question? Do you know which 3 major economic zones are in Sioux City? Jinhu Economic Zone, Eastern Tianmen Economic Zone, Ocean View Avenue Economic Zone? Why did Student Wang Lan suddenly ask this? Do you know the Yuanxing Building in Jinhu Economic Zone? I know. What about the Sinew Building in Eastern Tianmen Economic Zone? I've seen it from afar. Duan Ziki's expression became more confused. She didn't understand why Wang Lan was talking about this. Ocean View Avenue Economic Zone's landmark, Ocean View Pavilion, should also be well known, right? Duan Ziki silently nodded. The owner of these 3 buildings is me. Sioux City No. 1 Middle School, we've arrived. Passengers who want to get off, please get off from the back door. My car is here. Student Duan, goodbye. No longer paying attention to Duan Ziki, who was in doubt, Wang Lan picked up his shoulder bag and hurriedly got on the car from the front door. Beep, student card. Chapter 58. Since then, Wang Lan's life seemed to have returned to how it used to be. Wang Lan was not a talkative person, but he was very easy to get along with. In the past, there were so many straight-A students in the class next door. They competed with each other openly and covertly, but Wang Lan could get along well with every one of them. From straight-A students to straight-A students, he could boast to the heavens. Now that he was in Takashi Hoshi Grade 12 Class 1, Wang Lan quickly shuttled through the various circles like a fish in water. They were happy to interact with Wang Lan, and Wang Lan was happy to be on good terms with them, except for Song Bo's four-man team. On the 10th day of school, Wang Lan was caught in an academic crisis. As the prodigy, he did not get first place in his first exam. He was successfully suppressed by the Ice Queen. That day, the sky was exceptionally clear. That day, Jiang Xinyu was exceptionally arrogant. That day, Jiang Xinyu looked at Wang Lan as if she was looking at her private property, which made Wang Lan shudder. Didn't he just win once? Did she have to be so smug? After class, Wang Lan stared at the question in front of him in a daze. Please analyze in detail the rules and operating formula of the change of star powers form, and indicate the 7 main points. Please analyze in detail the operating formula of the change of star powers nature, as well as the 3 major protective measures to ensure that the nature does not backfire, and the 3 main points. For such a professional Takashi Hoshi exam question, those who knew it could do it in one go. Those who knew half of it could also make it up. However, Wang Lan did not know it at all, so he could only write a solution. Wang Lan, it's okay. Don't take it too hard. Even if you didn't get first place, didn't you get 5th place? It's okay. Jiang Xinyu's grades were not below yours in the past. She was only a few points behind you in every exam. This is the Takashi Hoshi exam. You don't have the home court advantage, so it's natural for you to lose. Maigatsuk Castle put an arm around Wang Lan's shoulder to comfort him. After all, he was a man who was revered as a prodigy. He must be very sad to fail his first exam after transferring to another school, so Maigatsuk Castle came to comfort him. However, why did it feel so good to see Wang Lan fall from the altar? No, he had to hold back his laughter. But what if he couldn't hold it in? This topic isn't out of the syllabus, right? Wang Lan was still brooding. Logically speaking, he had already spent a month reading Takashi Hoshi's high school textbook. Even if he did not fully grasp it, it was impossible that he did not have any impression of it. Even if he didn't, he should at least have some impression of it. However, Wang Lan had no idea about the changes in the form and nature of star power. It's not out of the syllabus. This is an internship Takashi Hoshi course. Jiang Xinyu raised her head proudly. It's not in the textbook, but Takashi Hoshi-sensei will teach it. Also, he said that this is a compulsory part of the college entrance examination. Wang Lan, if you don't know how to do it, I'll show you. Don't underestimate these 2 points of knowledge. They are the prerequisites for learning Takashi Hoshi technique. If you can't grasp the changes in the form and nature of star power, you won't be able to learn the Takashi Hoshi techniques for 90% of the time. The most important thing about the changes in the form is the control of star power. In layman's terms, star power in your hands is like plasticine. As he spoke, Maigatsuk Castle spread out his hands and a ball of star power slowly took shape in his palm. The key is to extend from the theoretical knowledge of star power. The source of star power is the energy of the cells. The reason why we can control star power is because we have mental strength. Mix mental strength with star power and let the mental strength and star power completely fuse, thus achieving control of star power. The more thorough the fusion, the stronger the control of star power. For beginners, the fusion ratio of mental strength and star power is generally 1 to 5. The better ones are 1 to 3. This requires practice, and the best fusion ratio is 1 to 1. Of course, real experts can achieve a ratio of 1 to 1. When the fusion is achieved, you see, the star power ball in Maigatsuk Castle's hands suddenly began to transform. In a short while, it turned into a ball, and in a short while, it turned into a square. For a moment, it flowed like water, and for a moment, it turned into a whirlpool. Amazing! Student Mingyue, has your control of star power reached perfection? How can it be so fast? I'm only 1 to 1.5 now. To reach perfection, it'll take 7 or 8 years. Suddenly, Maigatsuk Castle's eyes widened, and the students watching Mingyue's teaching were all dumbfounded. In fact, when Maigatsuk Castle completed the transformation, Wang Lan suddenly realized that he seemed to be able to achieve this kind of transformation. This was because the silver Takashi Hoshi skill, Nebula Sword Dance, was a Takashi Hoshi skill that used the transformation of star power. Moreover, it was an advanced skill. The prerequisite for learning this Takashi Hoshi skill was to have perfect control of the transformation of star power. Don't underestimate this theory and control method. It seems simple, but it was very difficult to achieve. This was a painstaking effort. It was like performing a surgery. In theory, there were only a few steps: cutting, peeling, or suturing, and then suturing. But try it? There were too many subtle manipulations involved. This required understanding, experience, and physical memory to facilitate the triple promotion. Maigatsuk Castle was able to achieve 1 to 1.5 star power control at this age. He was definitely worthy of the title of a genius of the Takashi Hoshi clan, and Wang Lan's mastery of the transformation of star power was all improved by adding points, so the initial 100 skill points were not wasted. Wang Lan was the kind of person who could do it, but didn't understand the theory behind it. Now that he heard what Maigatsuk Castle said, he instantly understood. He opened his palm, and the cluster of star power turned into 2. The 2 clusters of star power turned into 2 stickmen. Then, a blockbuster fight took place in Wang Lan's palm. The whole classroom was dead silent. The cluster of star power in Maigatsuk Castle's palm broke. Was this a concept? Was this a domain? Maigatsuk Castle was just rubbing star power into balls. You've already used star power to make a movie? It was like I had just invented a bicycle and was announcing my awesomeness. Then, you came driving a Ferrari. F***ck. Someone suddenly let out a roar from the depths of their throat. The whole class instantly came back to their senses. Jiang Xinyu looked at Wang Lan bitterly. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Was there a need to ask? It was obvious, wasn't it? He could control the shape of star power to such an extent that it left others in despair. How could he say that he didn't know how to solve this problem? Maigatsuk Castle wanted to take off his shoes and slap him. I taught you seriously, but you pretended to be a newbie and asked for advice with a humble face. Then, you suddenly braked and almost broke my waist. No. Wang Lan looked innocent. I really didn't know, but now that Mingyue said so, I understand. I could do it before, but I thought that every Takashi Hoshi could do it after awakening star power. So, I didn't know that this was the shape change of star power. As soon as he said that, the number of students who wanted to kill him increased tenfold. Did you hear what a human said? Maigatsuk Castle turned around silently. Just as he was about to leave, he was caught by Wang Lan. Mingyue, isn't there a change in nature? The veins on Maigatsuk Castle's forehead bulged. You still want to ask about the change in nature? Wasn't it enough that you hit me once? You want to hit me again? Wang Lan, don't be too pretentious. You'll get beaten up. I'm really asking for advice. You see, I was in the high school next door for 2 years. I fell behind in the Takashi Hoshi class for 2 years. Although I spent a month cramming, there are still so many points of knowledge that I've never heard of. Master Mingyue, please explain. All the students were killed on the spot. You spent a month making up for 3 years' worth of lessons, and you're ranked 5th in class. According to Wang Lan, the students ranked 6th to 50th in class should commit seppuku. They were too ashamed to live. He's not a human, he's a beast. Maigatsuk Castle slowly turned around and looked deeply into Wang Lan's eyes. I've always had a question, and I hope Wang Lan can answer it. Please ask, Mingyue. How did you survive when you were in the school next door? Didn't anyone want to kill you? How could that be? We're all classmates who love each other, how could we have such thoughts? Wang Lan's smile was like a spring breeze, but the scene in his mind was, Wang Lan, go to hell. I can't help it. Don't stop me, let me beat this pretentious prick to death. I'm sacrificing myself for justice. Wang Lan, may I ask you a question? How can you use the materials you buy on the street to produce dangerous substances that are severely regulated by the country? For example, in the fifth and sixth columns of the periodic table of elements, you can do it through nuclear fusion. Come to think of it, why was Wang Lan able to become friends with all the students in class? It was all for the sake of his own life. Mingyue, I'm sincerely asking for your advice. Everyone has their own star power attribute. My star power attribute is water and thunder, so it's a bit difficult to control the attribute changes. I really envy you guys who only have one attribute. Mingyue sighed and said faintly, The tone of his voice sounded familiar. Wang Lan cursed in his heart. To change the attribute of star power, the first thing you have to do is to separate the star power with the attribute. Unless you have 100% star power with only one attribute, you have to separate the star power with the attribute. It's also controlled with mental strength, but this time you don't have to mix the mental strength. Instead, you have to separate the mental strength and let the star power collide. The collision of star power will release the energy of the attribute. This is the change of attribute of star power. With that, Maigatsuk Castle spread out his hands. A water ball suddenly appeared in his left hand, and electric arcs flashed in his right hand, making ear-piercing crackling sound. Wang Lan tried to follow Maigatsuk Castle's instructions, but he suddenly ran into trouble when separating the fire attribute star power. Because Wang Lan couldn't feel the fire attribute star power. What was going on? During the test, Wang Lan was 70% fire attribute, which couldn't be fake. If he couldn't feel it, it must be because he hadn't mastered it yet. All eyes were fixed on Wang Lan. Wang Lan stretched out his palm and held it for a long time, but there was no change at all. Sigh, suddenly, Wang Lan let out a long sigh. Sure enough, the change of attribute is quite difficult. I have to study it for a while. Hearing this, Maigatsuk Castle looked much better, and the whole class breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. If Wang Lan could still do it easily, then they would really have doubts about life. Being with such a monster, sooner or later they would be beaten to tears. It's okay. Practice more. You can even easily master the change of form. The change of attribute of star power shouldn't be difficult for you. The change of attribute is easier than the change of form. It took me 3 days to master it. Maigatsuk Castle comforted him sincerely. Suddenly, Wang Lan realized something was wrong. He didn't seem to have separated the attribute star power first and then performed the change of attribute. After all, he had learned the flaming blade, which was Takashi Hoshi's skill of attribute change. If he had learned the flaming blade, there was no reason why he couldn't master the change of attribute, right? Thinking of this, Wang Lan didn't bother about the separation of attribute star power. Instead, he directly separated a mass of star power and then used the flaming blade to make them collide. Boom! A ball of flame rose from Wang Lan's hand. I think I learned it? F***CK. Dozens of middle fingers were raised. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.